Welcome to YellBro Road. I am Jordan, and today we're gonna the Charlie Kirk trial thing has been going on, the Tyler Robinson trial, uh, and I caught mainly the last 2 days of their preliminary hearing, right? But I assume that Ian Carroll watched all of it, so thus I will allow this man, who I once again not so favorable in the sense of correctness or intelligence, but still, I'm sure he'll go over like information. And I think it's worthy of talking about. So you know what? I'm going to use his video as a backdrop to talk about the Charlie Kirk trial, the Tyler Robinson trial thing. Amen. Before I get started, do not forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We're in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome. And obviously everything I show you will be linked in that same description box, including stuff like this. Now, Lindsey Graham passed away. And we actually were questioning in the last video I did, and people are questioning in general, the idea of like, hey, what this 911 call, like, what was that about? Like, who called? Why did they call? Like, what was the reasoning behind it? Let's hear what Tommy Tuberville has to say here. Here we go.
My former scheduler was Lindsay's scheduler, and one of my...
Wait, what the fuck? It's so laggy? What the hell? Let's try that again. Let me reset it real fast. That was really laggy. Bad. Try again. Here we go.
My former scheduler was Lindsay's scheduler, and one of my staff members was with that scheduler the night Lindsay called. Basically, said, listen, I'm having chest pains. I need to do something. Did you call 911? And he goes, no, that's the reason I called you. And so she called 911. There was a restaurant downtown watching the soccer game. By the time she got there, 911 had knocked the door down, and they were working on it.
So if this is correct, right? If his piece of information is correct, that he called someone to call 911 for him, is either that's wild. We were talking before, or before I hit record, about the idea like, hey, he's just so used to having staffers do everything for him, right? Hey, I need coffee. Hey, I need a car to pick me up. Hey, I'm having a heart attack. Can you call emergency ambulances for me right now? But that last one seems like a little, I don't know. That'd be crazy though. Like, yo, you're like hanging on to life essentially, or you believe you're hanging on to your own life right now by like, hey, I'm in pain. I think I'm dying, right? Or something really serious is happening. Why not just call 911? It could have actually potentially saved your life by having them get there earlier. Potentially, right? Right? You know your own address. 911 is just 3 numbers. You can tell them like, hey, I'm having chest pains. Am I having a heart attack? I don't know. And the lady could be on the phone with you, no matter how, hard it is to hear her. But either way, she could be on the phone with you towards like, sir, are you there? Sir? Like if he like passes out or something. Like, okay, he's losing consciousness. Yo, guys, don't just drive there. Speed there. Like emergencies. Go there fast, right? They got to hear his voice say like, I'm having chest pains, and then you can't hear him anymore. So that's crazy. To me, that's just crazy. It's going to feed into more of the theories, the conspiracy theories of it. Not saying I agree or disagree with that. Just more of it's going to feed that for sure. If this guy's correct about apparently what he says, this person told him. But either way, whatever. Let's keep it moving. Just want to point that out. Then we have this. I'm not reading all of Trump's letter here, but it's him officially telling Congress, apparently, that hey, we're restarting the war with Iran. Officially restarting it. And I believe I saw someone say that it buys them 60 days to continue on with combat against them. Apparently, so there might be like a technical reason for why he's doing that, but we all knew this already, right? Without him even saying it, we knew they were out of the MOU. It's over. In fact, I think it was a charade the entire time. I think it was bullshit the entire time. But you know, now we have it officially on paper that they're done with it. But things get actually crazier. Things are going to get crazier, I think, because I think this piece of information right now might be very significant in regards to what happens next. And it's this right here. Saudi Arabia bombing Yemen. And that pulls Yemen. I should have shared that with myself. I didn't share it already. I bet I didn't have this on screen. I should have had it on screen. But you can see this Yemen firing at Saudi Arabia firing back. That's bringing more characters into the fucking thing, into the theater of war, as they call it. Now there's more teams involved. And when there's more teams, it spreads and it spreads. And this conflict could get way crazier than we thought it would be. Instead of just the U.S. and Israel bombing Iran because of their thing going on, right? Their conflict going on. Now you add multiple countries, although Yemen was already kind of already there, right? And Saudi Arabia was already kind of there, but Saudi Arabia doing direct action is especially after their long the conflict they've had in the past, right? This is this is not good. This is not good at all. In my humble opinion, this may take, instead of just Iran, now it's like it could spread to, like, okay, the Middle East itself, where that could be the new backdrop for World War. Straight up. It straight up could be. And people should be they should pay attention to this detail of that, of Saudi Arabia entering, Yemen basically entering, and now it's multiple countries against multiple countries, and then which means more countries are going to jump in one form or fashion, and that is not good if you're a peace-loving person who doesn't want to see crazy wars everywhere. And one more thing before we get to Charlie Kirk story from Ian Carroll. This is from Professor Marandi, right, who's Iranian and a bit of a mouthpiece for Iranian foreign policy for, when talking to Americans. Like, he's a bit of a, I can speak for these guys to some degree, which means he's probably plugged in, right? And there's this story going around of, remember Ahmadinejad from years ago as being the president of Iran? Well, people are saying that this guy was a spy for Israel. And Morandi's like, the propaganda is getting really embarrassing. If Ahmadinejad is an asset, why would they expose him? They're effectively telling all potential assets and spies to be aware, to beware, because they may be exposed by their Western handlers. So obviously it's laced with, my team is Iran, so I speak a certain way, right? It's laced with that. But at the same time, the story itself is interesting. Now, I remember this guy, like, in day one of the U.S., like the second round of U.S. attacking Iran, they announced this guy dead. Then they announced, oh, no, he's actually alive. And now they're announcing he's a spy for Israel. And now they're saying, oh, he's on house arrest as a spy for Israel. It's like quite a character arc for this Ahmadinejad guy. And it's just something to pay attention to and see what happens as times go by. Because there are people that I believe were actual spies for Israel or the U.S. inside of Iran. And, but I doubt they say their names out loud. I doubt they do, like, publications to showcase that. Especially if the guy's still in the country. If he's still in Iran, why would you fucking burn your asset like that? Like that. That's kind of crazy to me. But all right, let's get to the Charlie Kirk thing. And of course, Ian's going to bring up Candace Owens because team playing and dick riding and shit like that. Let's just go into it, and hopefully he goes over enough details. Once again, he's going to have his personal sensibilities, his personal bias, if you will, of like what happened and why it happened. But at the very least, we get to see the information, and we can pontificate, off of it. I think it's worthy. That's worthy. Without further ado, let's just reset that. Without further ado, let's hear Ian Carroll with a video titled "Candace Owens Vindicated by Day 2 of Tyler Robinson Trial." Here we go.
So it is day 2 of the preliminary hearing of Tyler Robinson in the Charlie Kirk murder.
I'm sorry. These are like the 2 days I missed. I can like add in the 3rd and 4th day of things. But here we go. Which is the DNA and the bullet assessment. The ATF assessment of the bullet itself, amongst other things. But here we go.
Assassination, investigation, trial, etc. And it's been a really interesting proceeding so far. I'm sure that you've seen clips. I'm sure that you've seen opinions. I'm sure you've seen commentary. There's lots more to come, I'm sure. I've been following along largely with all of our homies on the various live streams. We got Nate and Matt from Trigger Smart and Baze and Danks.
That's who I watched it through initially.
Doing daily co-streams, which is a ton of fun to watch. So I've been following along with them and listening and analyzing.
But yeah.
And I'm going to summarize everything that we've learned so far and everything that is new and significant. And there's a lot that's significant. And it's important to preface up front that what this is not the trial. This is not about proving guilt beyond any reasonable doubt. This is a preliminary hearing that is just about should it go to trial. And the bar is super low. It's going to go to trial. This bar will be met. Baron Coleman did a really great breakdown of it that you should watch. He's a lawyer. I'm not. We're not getting whether or not Tyler's guilty. That's not what we're getting right now. But what we are getting is what evidence do they have? Because they're presenting a whole bunch of their evidence. The prosecution is presenting to show why it should go to trial. And if you recall, we were told explicitly by tpusa that there are mountains of evidence. That's the whole premise of why tpusa is so certain that Tyler Robinson is the guy. And that's why they said that, because they're so sure that Tyler Robinson is the guy, because they've seen some of this evidence behind the scenes, there's just so much of it, that's why you're an evil person for asking any questions, doing any investigations. That's where the premise that Candace Owens is a horrible, hateful person comes from, is because there's so much evidence that it's really, there's no question, and you don't need to ask any questions because the feds already solved it. So we are expecting to see overwhelming evidence. And there's some evidence that we already knew we were looking for, like there should be video of the shot being taken on the roof, because we know there's a video camera that explicitly is pointed at that roof that saw the person on the roof. There should be video of the shot being taken, and we've got that. It's a little underwhelming. It's extremely underwhelming. And then is there any change to the evidence that we were told about in advance? And most importantly, is there any new evidence that's going to add significance and weight to this allegation that Tyler Robinson is a lone gunman that was motivated by trans and like gay stuff, had nothing to do with Israel, had nothing to do with any other co-conspirators. There was no conspiracy. There was no state actors. There was no intelligence agencies, not a trained assassin, not a hitman, nothing complicated, just a disgruntled gay kid that.
Now, I remember back in the day that Charlie Kirk was parading around the country with a gay black veteran, and they were like, "Hey guys, gay should be included in right-wing politics." He was doing that straight up. Unless, I guess, if what he's saying or what the prosecution is saying about Tyler Robinson is true, that he did it and he did it because he's gay and disgruntled, that would make no sense. Or maybe he just didn't see those videos that Charlie was doing. He toured the country. And in fact, the Groyper showed up at these events saying, "Why do you have this gay black dude as, on our team?" Right? They're not America First, so they can't be on our team. And they were like holding like rosaries and Bibles as they're, trying to shit on Charlie or Crowder or whoever was doing this, touring the country like that. But all right, here we go. Maybe Tyler wasn't old enough to see that or whatever the fuck, but if all the stories are correct. Let's apply them. Here we go.
Shot him all on his own. And everything new that has come out during this trial only makes it shakier. and only makes it more questionable. And we're going to go through all of those elements right now. Real quick, before we do get into it though, I just want to give a huge shout out to my fucking vibe coded version of web that I've got on my own computer that is like my own personal like workroom that has just been live scraped document on the left you can see there. And then I can have ongoing conversations with my AI bot about what's being said in the transcripts, and I can pull live clips out of it just by saying, hey, I want a clip of that they were just talking about this. Go get that clip. I need to find that other clip, etc. I wanted a clip from Barron's YouTube channel from last night. Grab that clip. It's just fun. I can like literally talk to it and about the case as it's going, pull things from the transcripts. It's actively capturing all of it. It just makes it a lot easier. It's really neat.
You can keyword search.
Just shout out to the AI overlords for making finding the truth a smidge easier. It's good that we're getting a little bit of benefit before they, imprison us all and make us into AI wage slaves. Day one centered around basically two witnesses. And there's a lot of segments throughout these days that become largely irrelevant because they'll get bogged down on describing the courtyard for like 2 hours at the start of day one. Or they got bogged down today on litigating back and forth whether a piece of testimony from a tpusa pastor is admissible and should be read aloud in court because it's really just trying to bias the world towards how religious and wonderful Charlie Kirk was and how horrible and gay Tyler Robinson is. So those parts we're not gonna dive into the sort of extemporaneous discussions, just the place where evidence and testimony gets really interesting. And I'm genuinely not trying to cherry pick. My perspective is that it seems extremely unlikely that Tyler Robinson did this on his own. That's no secret. I think this was an intelligence agency operation based upon the evidence that I have seen, but I'm not trying to specifically cherry pick things that only add to that. And a lot of people that are watching along, I'm seeing a lot of the comments and the chat segments that are where a lot of the audience to this spectacle are sort of rooting for their team. And that is not my experience watching this. I certainly think I have a good theory about what did or didn't happen, more so what didn't happen than what did happen. I don't know what the hell happened, but I'm looking for like new information to help inform me. So for example, they were talking about, should we admit this video evidence? Should we show it in the courtroom? And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, show the video evidence because I want to know more. If that video shows something relevant, I want to know what it shows. And there's a lot of people that I saw in chat that were like, no, don't show it because it might like help the prosecution's case or something. And it's like, dude, this is not a sporting event. This is one of the most important trials in your lifetime, in America's modern history. And it's important that we get the truth and we get the actual evidence that they actually have and we parse it accurately and intelligently and cogently. So I'm genuinely not trying to cherry pick this or that here. My experience of watching it is that this evidence has been wildly underwhelming, and everything new that we've gotten has mostly made me have more questions. So we're going to go through all that clip by clip. Starting on day one, this is Catherine Nestor right here. You'll see her. She is on Tyler Robinson's team. So she's the defense. There is one or two other people on the defense. I'll try to tell you if we have them. The witness that you're seeing here is a police officer. He's the police officer that located the rooftop scene of the crime. He's the police officer.
That's definitely what I want to hear. I don't know if I avoided that on purpose, but I definitely didn't like go out of my way to look it up for sure. But I heard things here or there that this guy, his body cam magically like randomly died after 20 something minutes of use. It died right as he's approaching a crime scene, right? As he's approaching like the found screwdriver right on the rooftop of the low C building, right? Like I guess his police body cam just dies in that one moment right there, right when it's probably needed for the sake of evidence and examining the case. But I'm curious what's said. Here we go.
Officer that first found the roof of the Losi Center, and we'll get into that in a minute. But first, one of the weirdest things that came out in this court testimony that we did not know about
the holster
is that apparently there was a armed, unidentified man that accompanied him to the scene of the crime when he first found it, and we have no fucking clue who he is. So let's listen.
And it appears to me from reviewing your body camera that there was another individual who was with you that went to the Losi building who was in civilian clothing but appeared to have a gun. Who was that?
I don't know who he was exactly. He had a badge on, and I needed somebody with me to back me up as I ran up the stairs to make sure I had somebody with me.
So you don't know what agency he's from or where he's from?
No.
And it looked like he had a pistol.
Yes.
Is that right?
A handgun, yes.
Or a handgun.
Yeah.
And so the two of you go to the Losi building.
Yes.
When you reviewed the videotape at the police department later, did you check?
So there's a person in civilian clothes with a handgun that had a badge, apparently, that he doesn't know who he was, didn't ask, but he accompanied him to the first finding of the scene of the crime. It's going to be...
That should be like, that's crazy, right? At the very least, you could like see the badge, like, okay, I can see who you're with. Right? At the very least, like, are you FBI? Are you Utah State Police? Are you State Bureau of Investigation, right? SBI, or whatever they call it. Like, who are you? Is it, like bubblegum machine badge? Like, what is it? As like a cop, after someone just got fucking murdered in front of you, like, you kind of want to like examine that badge quite a bit, and it actually the name too, I would think. But I guess he was like scrambled. To be fair to him, mentally scrambled to not pick up on any of that. He said I think this guy said he was a detective or something like that. I heard something in that direction. Unless it's the wrong person, but all right, here we go.
But he accompanied him to the first finding of the scene of the crime. It's going to be pretty relevant here in a second. I'm hoping that someone knows who he is. I'm hoping that either the defense or the prosecution has figured out who that is and that he will be identified at some point, because that's very concerning. And we already have a lot of footage of random civilians on the scene of the crime the day of that had badges. There's one famous clip that went around of a dude that we don't know who he is that has a badge that takes it off and hides it when he sees that there's a camera filming him.
I've seen that one. That was a guy with like a badge on his shirt, and he takes it off as he's getting filmed. But I don't know I don't know what to make of that. It could have been like a gag, like a kid playing like a joke thing, not for the sake of Charlie Dime, but just like, hey man, I'm the beer sheriff. Something stupid, right? For all we know. But I don't know. I have not looked it up at all, but let's see where Ian goes. Here we go.
We've had questions about that for a long time now. And we just got more questions about it because obviously having an unidentified person arrive at the scene of the crime as it's first being discovered and having no corroboration as to who that is or what they may have done at the scene of the crime is not good.
Defense has to.
And
it's not just not good. The defense has to find out who the fuck that person is. They have to. There's no way around it. But here we go.
Corroboration as to who that is or what they may have done at the scene of the crime is not good. And it's especially not good because Homeboy's body cam conveniently died right as he got to the scene of the crime, where the screwdriver with the DNA was recovered, and it didn't get turned back on for the whole day. So here's this part.
Body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And did you ever turn it back on that day? Or?
The battery on the body cam footage for the officer died as he got to the scene of the crime. And it was only running for, I think, 20 something minutes before that. Like, I heard the battery's supposed to last for like 12 hours or some crazy shit like that, right? His died after 20 something minutes as he got to the most important part to see from his body cam footage. It just happened to die right there.
They trigger, depending on the body cam too, some of them trigger when they detect something happened. Like, let's say this officer was already in the area and it like heard gunfire like in the background. It would trigger like 30 seconds before it would catch the video, and then the audio would trigger like from when the gunfire happens, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So depending on the body cam, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's some crazy tech, but I could believe it 100%. But all right, here we go. Let's see where they go.
You know why that is?
I think the battery went
conveniently died right as he got to the scene of the crime, where the screwdriver with the DNA was recovered, and it didn't get turned back on for the whole day. So here's this part.
Body cam footage that I reviewed appears to end while you're still on the roof. Do you know why that is?
I think the battery went dead. It was just right at that moment.
Okay. And do you know, did you ever turn it back on that day or go get it, I don't know, what do you have to do, charge it or stick a new battery in it? I don't even know.
Usually dock it, but no, I didn't go back. It was too chaotic.
So that's convenient. Baron Coleman did a good breakdown of this last night in his live stream. And apparently body cameras obviously are designed to last for many, many, many hours, like over 10. So no real explanation given in this trial so far, this hearing so far, about why the body camera didn't have any battery, why his body cam died specifically. That's concerning. That's not good. In this clip, the officer describes the series of events from him first witnessing the shot to then going down to the tent, scene of the crime, then traveling up to the Losi Center building. And in the middle of it all, he finds a holster, an empty holster for a handgun. And it's a little weird. This holster for the handgun is sort of a open question in the middle of this whole story now that is getting a little confusing.
Now, I just want to add, this is now, I believe the prosecution is now asking this guy questions. So it switched over from defense to prosecution. Here we go.
Mr. Kirk was answering questions, talking to individuals.
Yes.
Were there others present?
Yes.
Any idea about approximately how many? How would you describe it in your terms?
In my terms, I'd say when I was up there looking down, I'd say there's several thousand people.
Do you see the reaction from the crowd?
Yes.
What was that?
Everybody kind of got up. They all said a lot of people were screaming, standing up, and starting to run in all different directions away from the center of the tent.
Okay. You're a police officer helping to secure the area, correct?
Yes.
What did you do?
At that moment, I recognized it as gunfire. I left my post, which was right there on the south end of the Hall of Flags. I proceeded to between right where the Fugle and the Hall of Flags meet. There's some outside stairs that I was starting to run down. As I was trying to get down to the bottom of the stairs, people were running up. People were laying down on the steps. I'm trying to jump over people to get to the bottom of the stairs so I can help stop an individual that's probably shooting. Because we had an individual in custody. Another officer came on and said we had an individual in custody.
By George
So
Zinn.
I decided to, since the threat is gone, now I can assess for anybody that's injured and start looking for any medical needs that's needed at that.
So if you remember, George Zinn, decoy boy, famously gets himself arrested, drops his drawers, makes a huge scene, very weird and somewhat suspicious, extremely suspicious. He later had CP on his phone, and so he's locked away, can't talk to him. Candace pointed out that she had a source at the hospital that he went to where allegedly, according to the hospital staff, he told them that he was paid to do it, didn't know where the money was coming from. I can't corroborate that. I don't know if that's true or not. But that's where this officer is saying that they had someone in custody, so he assumed that the threat was over, so he looked around for medical emergencies. He finds someone.
The George Zinn story is fucking, that is just bizarre. I mean, once again, maybe a perfect storm of crazy happened all on one day, but that one's just bizarre. This guy's yelling, "I did it," or something like that, right? You know, as his pants fall down, like and then he goes to jail for child porn, because they searched his phone. It's just like, that is all so bizarre of a in one day thing happening like that. Like that's just weird. I don't
Perfect
know.
fun.
Yeah, that's just. Did you see like the before the cops grab him? Right, he's in like the crowd. I don't know why he's even there in the first place, honestly, but he's there in the crowd, right? People drop because they hear gunshots, right, or a gunshot. He stands up and starts putting his hands up in the air and like waving around like his hands are up for some reason, and his pants falls down in the middle of that, and then that's when they start eventually they start dragging him away, right? Like the cops do.
I remember this guy. Yeah.
It's just
And
like,
everyone was like, "Oh, it was him," but then it was like, well, the angle from Charlie getting shot, like it wouldn't, and the guy didn't even have a fucking gun. So,
Yeah. like there were several things that day. Like there was a guy who got they put handcuffs on him, but he had like a BB gun and he was like outside the university, like inside that amphitheater, right? He was outside of it. He wasn't even in the fucking place. But he had like something that looked like a long rifle on him, right? But it was a BB gun apparently. But the George Zinn thing that held up in regards like he was actually there, actually saying like, yeah, I'm sorry guys, I did this. Essentially, like he's like admitting to it in words for some reason. I don't know why he would do that. I guess he was like, super duper reflexes, right? Where he's like, hey, I just saw a shooting. You know what? I'll just say I did it. Why not? That he has nothing to do with, apparently. Yeah, I'm doing this. And then the pants, and then the CP, the child porn on his fucking phone. Like, all that, that's like a script writer wouldn't write that. But somehow it's here in reality, apparently.
Yeah.
But
What was that guy's name? George Zinn?
yeah. I heard other rumors, but I stuck to like the basic shit of like this guy. We have video of this guy saying, don't kill me, right? Like, don't kill me, or something like that, right? And then we have the conviction for having child porn on his phone. Like all those things, like I believe, are like groundedly proven so far.
Well, yeah, no, I can find the child porn case. I mean, let's see if you like that because that's odd. I mean, I'm sure no one's heard from him.
Yeah. Well, Ian right here. Not that I fully trust Ian or trust his intelligence, but still, he's saying, like, yeah, now that this guy got locked up for this, we can't talk to this person at all. He's locked away, and he probably refused to talk, right? Unless the court calls him in, right? One of the sides bring him in, right? He would have to say something, or no?
What do you mean?
If prosecution or defense is like, hey, we want to talk to George Zinn, he can say no to that, right?
I mean,
it's not like he's in trouble for anything.
Yeah,
right?
if a witness does, they can subpoena a witness, and if they don't show up, then that only hurts the prosecution's case. There has to be like incentive for him to cooperate.
Fair enough. I would think the defense would want to bring him in just for the sake of like, hey, what was that? What happened here? But for all we know, he's in a mental spot where he can't be relied on as testimony. But all right, let's apply. Here we go.
Assumed that the threat was over, so he looked around for medical emergencies. He finds someone having a seizure. It's no big deal.
Area, having a seizure that he was fine. He was not injured. So then at that moment, I observed that there was no other injuries that I could see at that moment.
Okay.
Effect of, I decided now we need to contain the scene and help preserve as much evidence as we can. So I started pushing people off the grass.
But not Terrell Farnsworth, who came directly into the tent and took the fucking memory cards out of the cameras. But obviously, whatever. There was not a lot of cops around, and whatever.
Out of the courtyard area, I looked down and saw an empty pistol holder that was sitting just on top of the grass.
I presume this is on the steps of the grass. We can see it in the video where after the scene is kind of cleared up, officers kind of find an item in the steps of the courtyard and they kind of deliberate over it for a second in the video that we have, like the Adam Bartholomew video. So I assume that's what we're talking about here.
And at that moment, things had died down just a split second. I realized that the shot I heard was more of a rifle shot and not a pistol shot.
So
Yeah,
he
but you don't do
realized
that, right?
minutes and minutes later, when he finds this pistol holster, that's when he realizes that it was a rifle shot, not a pistol shot.
And
That's ridiculous, right? If you're a cop,
get that.
if you're a cop, like, well, I swear I heard a rifle. So you know what? I'll ignore this pistol holster on the ground over here and go do something else. Like, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's crazy. And this guy, I didn't watch his whole thing, but I heard a snippet of him saying his credentials, which is he wasn't just like simply like a campus police. He was a like sheriff, like multiple sheriff offices. I think he did some detective too for a sheriff's office or something like that, right? So like he's not like mall cop basically, right? He has been a straight up police officer and a detective at some point, right? So like you can't just rely on like, well, I thought I heard of, I thought he looked like, so I ignored this other guy. He kind of looked like something else, so I ignored him. There's no excuse for that one. That's kind of crazy. But let's play more. Here we go.
Holster. That's when he realizes that it was a rifle shot, not a pistol shot.
And what causes you to say that?
Just from being around firearms through all my trainings, crackle sound. It's more of a violent kind of sound.
Kind of imprecise terminology. Rifles making crackle sounds,
Longer,
but whatever.
so
Whatever.
that's why I recognized it.
Not a big deal.
Okay.
I assume that he knows the difference between a rifle and a pistol sound. It's not.
Is a rifle sound louder
Collect
typically?
everything
Yes.
you can.
Okay. Going back to when you heard this gunshot, could you tell where it came from? As far as direction?
Yes, I knew it came from the east of me.
From the east of you. Okay. So you see this realization comes to your mind. What did you do next?
At that moment when I saw the holster, the empty holster, I turned to my chief and I said, that was a rifle shot. And he said, I agree. And I looked up at that moment, right in the line of sight, I could see the Losi building had a direct line of sight. So I proceeded to go look at that and see what was going on up there.
And that's where, at some point along his journey to the Losi Center, he starts being accompanied by an unidentified man with a gun and a badge, in plain clothes. Later,
Why wouldn't you like he would know what, like, hey, what organization are you from, like, or what department are you from? Are you federal? Are you state? Are you county? Whatever the fuck, right? A random guy with a badge that I guess is holding authority that maybe he would put over his head as campus police, maybe. But still, like, yeah, some guy I don't know. He showed me a badge, and I'm like, all right, fine, we'll go this way. Is like, once again, doesn't play in movies. It doesn't play right in movies. Fans from like watching a movie, like, yeah, what the fuck? You can't just, like, find out who the guy is, his badge number, confirm something, right? He's like, well, some guy, he had a badge and a gun, so I'm like, you know what? He must be a cop. I'll just follow him. I'll go with him. He'll take him with me. Like, what? Like, it's this weird, like, decoding or coded style
for
language.
For the moment too, like that, it just seems like you're.
Yeah, for all you know, there's
What
multiple
happened to
people.
all that training, bro? Like that's kind of.
Once again, this guy was doing this for like 20, 30 years, apparently. Like, he was a cop.
You know what?
And it's like, I don't know, man. That's kind of wild. Like, you don't even know if there's more shooters in the area. I'm sure he's actually, like, in his 30 years or 20 years of in the profession, have come across people using fake credentials, right? I'm sure, maybe, like, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but maybe he's come across that possibly, or heard someone else that came across it.
Yeah.
That's why there's a fucking law for it about impersonating a cop, right? So, like, come on, dude. Like, that's just weird. That's just weird. But all right. And also he's like, hey, the Losi building. Okay, let's go over there. It's like, why not have, like, hey, you lower level officer, right? I think he was like a senior officer at the school and at other areas, but in this case he was a senior officer for the school, I believe. He's like, hey, you, come over here. Hey, rookie, come over here. Watch this holster. Like, stand over this. Don't let anyone get near it. While I go check out the Losi building. Why not that? Maybe he didn't have enough personnel on hand to do that. I don't know, but I'd, like, stop and snap a picture, right? Because once again, the shooter could be out there. So you know what? You want to go find if there's a shooter out there, right? You want to go kind of chase him down.
Yep.
I get that. Like, you do realize holster means gun out of holster, missing holster. Who's belonged to? Let's not, like, maybe snap a picture of it, then fucking go there. Go towards the Losi building to find where they think the shooter is. All right. This is common sense.
There also are cops like Uvalde who, shit happens and then they crap out. So
Yeah, maybe they panic or something. To be fair, like, they're humans, so to be fair to them, fair to anyone in that regard. But still, this is like crazy levels of
that's
incompetence.
another question. Isn't that yeah, they're human, but that's the position that they put themselves in when they sign up for the job, right? Like, oh yeah, I'm ready for that moment. And then it comes, and then you act like this. You see a holster on the ground, and you don't do nothing.
Well, there's a whole bunch of people that are boxers until Mike Tyson punches you in the face. It was like, oh fuck, am I? Am I a boxer? So like, things. I'll leave room for the human part of it. Like, you know, you got caught up in some shit. But the holster thing, that's one thing. But unidentified guy that you still to this day don't know who the fuck that was. You're in a courtroom right now. You have no clue who the fuck that person is that's to me kind of crazy. All right. Not just for self-preservation, but also for if you're saying like, yo, fuck me, it's about this case, it's about catching the shooter, all that stuff. You want to know who you're next to, right? You would think. That one's like kind of crazy. But let's keep playing. Here we go.
Accompanied by an unidentified man with a gun and a badge in plain clothes. Later, I believe in Nestor's cross-examination of him on this, it sort of gets elaborated that he doesn't know what happened to the holster. Nothing was done with it. Allegedly, I think according to him, they just left it there, which is super fucking weird. Obviously, you collect that and fingerprint it, and that's evidence, but whatever. So there is a holster that is confusing. Then Catherine Nestor made this one other interesting statement that everyone was kind of wondering about at the end of day one, that we got a lot more clarity on today in day two that I want to just bring up real quick.
Some types of guns, when they shoot, eject a casing automatically, right? Some do, some don't.
Yes.
Right. And then you also didn't find any unshot bullets.
No.
Okay. Are you aware of there being a bullet found on another roof?
I'm not aware.
Vicinity? Were you aware of another bullet being found on the scene, not on the roof of the Losi building?
No.
See how those are kind of leading questions? It sounded to everyone like there was a bullet found somewhere and she was intentionally asking about it, right? Which we have not heard about. No one's heard about another bullet found anywhere. There's no bullets anywhere. Except allegedly Tyler Robinson was engraving trans stuff into his bullets, which we've also never had confirmed in any way. So this really got everyone's attention. But it wasn't that, to be clear, that does not mean that a bullet was found. That was her just asking if he was aware of a bullet being found, and he said no. But it got people to wondering, and today we got a lot more clarity. There were a lot of other good moments on day one, but those are the ones I want to cover. And we'll come back to Baron assessing one important thing from day one in just a second. But first...
So before Ian goes on, we've, I guess, found out, what was it, the third or fourth day, or fourth and fifth days, whichever one I was paying attention to, the DNA and then the examination of the bullet by the ATF. I believe they said the embroidery thing that like wrote words on the casings, or whatever you want to call them, what they call them, cartridges, right, or empty cartridges, right, instead of whatever casings, right? They wrote words on it, or someone wrote words on it. They found DNA of Robinson on that embroidery thing that existed, that they had in their house on top of a safe. Lance Twiggs, Kyle Robinson, they had a room with a safe in it, and they had 5 like bullets on top of the safe, and one of them had writing on it. But it wasn't a bullet. It was just a casing by itself. I think it's a like test run or test something on it as like a testing bullet thing. So that was a part of the later days, not the early days of this whole preliminary hearing thing. I just want to point that out. That Ian won't know at this point because it's earlier, right? But all right, here we go.
First, about this bullet.
And that building was the Losi building.
Correct.
Wasn't there?
So this witness from day 2, this witness is the lead investigator for the State Bureau of Investigation, like the Utah State FBI. So this is his case, and he no longer is with the State Bureau of Investigation as of March of this year, but he basically was the lead investigator on the whole case, and along with
British.
one other co-lead for the essential body of the case. So this guy is the authority on the case, and he should know pretty much everything, just to clarify. So when you see the funny haircut with this sort of weird accent, that's who we're talking about, the lead investigator for the State Bureau of Investigation.
There also a bullet found on another building?
I believe an unfired bullet had been found on another building at some point during my time there on September 10th. Yeah.
So Whoa, dude. Hold up. There was an unfired bullet, not just a casing, not a spent casing, but an unfired bullet found on another rooftop on September 10th. And no one thought to mention that. That never got brought up. Because obviously, you need a fucking explanation for that. Bullets don't just jump onto rooftops out of nowhere, especially on college campuses, especially at the scene of a murder investigation. Obviously, that bullet had to get there somehow. Then the explanation of how maybe that bullet got there is given, and it's even fucking weirder.
Which building was that, sir?
I don't recall.
Was that considered a scene that was worth preserving?
It was not. My recollection is that that was accounted for as an ejected cartridge from an officer who had cycled his rifle.
They're going to go into this a little bit more in a second here. But what he just said is it was accounted for as a cartridge that was ejected from a police officer's rifle when he cycled. Meaning, apparently, there was police officers on rooftops with long guns, with rifles, allegedly. We have no knowledge of that. There's no reason to believe why. Like, A, they already had someone in custody right away, George Zinn, on the day of. And then B, once they determined that it wasn't George Zinn, there was no shooting going on. The campus was clear. So why would there even be police officers on other rooftops with rifles? It's not like we're sniping the scene. So even to have police officers on other rooftops with loaded rifles is a little weird. But then the cycling of a rifle to eject a unfired rifle round onto a rooftop on this college campus that is the scene of a crime, and then to leave it there on the ground is absolutely retarded.
Okay, I thought you...
Okay. So it's probably, for me, more so that they, like, okay, things maybe can happen in a chaotic situation. Sure. In fact, I could see someone like, hey, let's go to the roof and, like, look at, like, maybe there's more shooters, right? Let's go up there and patrol this area or look over this area or something like that, right? Fair enough. But the fact that they didn't extra investigate, right, accounted for does not mean, as far as what I would understand as being, like, detailed and due diligence of the scenario. It can't be like, well, I heard Bob dropped it, so you know what, I just left it alone. Like, no, fucking isolate, find out, like, investigate it, and then showcase, like, oh, it came from Bob's gun. He was fidgeting with his gun. He had to, you know, whatever, a round fell out of the gun somehow, and whatever, right? He's cycling his gun and shit happened. Do that. Like, make it official. Make it official on paper. We have documentation. Bob was cycling through his gun. He got a round fell out. Why not just do that? Why is it the other dude who's like, yeah, you know what, a holster, but like, whatever, who cares? Unknown cop. I don't know his name. I don't know who he works for exactly. You know what? Fine, fuck it. Come with me. Hey, so there's a bullet on the ground or on top of a rooftop somewhere. Oh, you know, sometimes shit happens. Sometimes maybe someone cycled their gun. These can't be like maybes. These are like your guys' like job. And probably the biggest case of your fucking lives as a police officer. It's probably their biggest case. And this is how it's being treated, apparently. Maybe they just weren't ready or something like that of this magnitude. I don't know. But, all right, let's apply. Here we go.
Up on this college campus, that is the...
All right, it's lagging. Reset it real fast. Here we go.
Scene of a crime. And then to leave it there on the ground is absolutely retarded.
Okay, I thought you said it was an unfired bullet, and now you're saying it was a cartridge?
When a weapon is cleared, an officer would make his rifle ready, which would chamber around.
Oh, I got you.
My understanding was that that's how that was accounted for.
So an officer claimed that bullet belonged to him or her?
That's my recollection, is that was how it was accounted for.
That was how it was accounted for.
So on radio just said,
Pretty
oh, that's mine.
soft and vague language about a very suspicious and important detail. And I just wanted to clip Nate's response to this, Valhalla VFT's response to this when they were watching live and this happened. Because Nate, if you don't know, is an ex-Green Beret. So former special forces in the military. And he trains police officers specifically. So his opinion is, somewhat expert at whether this is a reasonable explanation.
This is a Utah specific thing, but
The
let's clear something up so everybody understands what he said there. Maybe this is a Utah specific thing, but I promise you, every law enforcement officer in the chat just fucking cringed when that guy said they don't carry chambered rounds, and after they're done with a scene, they take their gun out, take the magazine out, and clear their weapon and put it back in while they're out in the civilian populace. 0% chance that is done anywhere. Okay, officers are going to carry a chambered weapon in case they need to use that gun to defend themselves, and they are not going to be fucking with it out in public. Not a thing. So I don't know. Maybe that's a very specific thing to Utah, but in any other,
I'm looking at
anywhere else you look, law enforcement officers are going to tell you bullshit on that. 0% chance that he's clearing his weapon and rounds are falling out. No. And I train law enforcement officers in departments and sheriff departments and SWAT teams. That is not a thing, homies.
And if they cleared it, they wouldn't leave it.
No, 0% chance. A cop's just going to leave his fucking bullets lying around. Because think about this, guys.
Yeah.
His fingerprints are now on a round that if somebody walks by and says, look at that 9mm round, I could throw that in my Glock and I can go kill somebody with it. Guess what? That's a cop who just killed somebody.
Yeah.
So not a thing. Not a fucking
And
thing.
for
I don't know
record
what that was,
integrity,
but
yeah.
that was oof. Anyway.
So pretty straightforward explanation of how that is not a fucking thing. That is no way to account for an unfired rifle bullet being found on another rooftop, which we don't know what rooftop it was. I'd be very curious if it was the Sorensen Center, by the way. I'm sure.
I'm gonna be back real fast, but I'll let this play. Here we go.
There's a couple of us out here that would be very curious what fucking rooftop that was. So that's a weird detail that we did not have before that does not strengthen this case at all, because obviously the person being identified as Tyler Robinson that they have all this footage of moving around the campus that we're going to watch in a second here, obviously they tracked that guy and he didn't go on any other rooftops. So obviously his rifle that allegedly was stuffed down his pants, which we're going to examine in a second, obviously that rifle and that person never went on another rooftop to eject a cartridge. So there is no other explanations for how a bullet got onto another rooftop, except for maybe if there was like another shooter somewhere, that would be sort of fucking relevant. But they explain it away as an officer just clearing his chamber on the rifle that he had on the rooftop because he was trying to snipe people, I guess, after the scene was already handled. And he just decided to leave that bullet on the fucking ground. That is very concerning to me. But before we get to all the juicy stuff from day 2 and the extra people that were in Tyler Robinson's car, the bald driver of Tyler Robinson's car, the actual footage review of the shot being completely not on camera, and all that stuff, I want to just quickly grab this clip from Barron's podcast last night where he said something really, really important about Judge Graff that I think is really interesting. It's a 4-minute clip. We might kind of skip through it a little bit.
Judge Tony Graff has gotten a lot of grief. And a lot of people think he's just a little too buddy-buddy with the prosecution, rules a little too harshly against the criminal defendant. I did not find that today. And granted, it's just day 1. I didn't watch all of it. But I thought he was fairly neutral. He may have given a little latitude to the prosecution. He did rule against them when it was particularly egregious one time. So that was it.
So then he shows this clip that has been going around of Judge Graff watching the actual footage of Charlie being shot. On the screen, he's, for the first time in this trial, watching graphic footage of the moment that Charlie gets shot in the neck. Probably in like 4K from the official Turning Point cameras that were pointing at Charlie. So it's pretty intense. And this was his response. Just watch
his reaction when it happens. And then I'll raise a question, but I want you to watch it first. You'll know when it happens. There.
Right there.
So that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
And you can see he's clearly disturbed. I mean, those were involuntary movements of his seat, sitting up, sitting back. And then his eyes, he had that 1,000-yard stare afterwards. I want you guys to go back to the first time you saw it, because I don't know that he had seen it before. I want you to go back to the first time you'd seen it. I made a bigger reaction than that. But it gave me insight into this judge. If that truly was the first time he'd seen it, or he hadn't seen it very often and it truly shocked him to the core, and that wasn't just good acting, and it didn't look like good acting, it looked like it was the first time he'd seen it.
Yeah.
Props to the judge for not doing what we tell everyone not to do and they immediately go out and do. You swear in a jury and the judge says, all right, you guys are now the jury. Do not look at anything in this case. Don't go on the internet. Don't read the local newspapers. Don't watch the local news. You're only going to hear about this case inside this courtroom. And the first thing they do at break, you can watch them. They're all on their phones looking up Twitter and Facebook and local news coverage and message board. I mean, it's human nature. It's human nature. You want to know as much as possible. There's always this FOMO. There's got to be information they're not letting us have. It doesn't look like the judge did that in this case.
And that's a really good thing. That's super cool. That's good to see because that seems almost impossible to achieve. Like in today's day and age, I couldn't have possibly avoided seeing Charlie's actual moment of death like over and over and over. And it kind of seems like the judge did, which is very cool. On to day 2. And
once again, for our dumbed down, dumb fuck world, I get the idea of impartiality, but you can do that while seeing anything you want to. That's my view of things. And in fact, if you can't handle that, you probably shouldn't be a judge. Not saying this guy's worthy or not worthy. I don't know him, right? I'm just saying, like, you should be able to handle anything in front of your face, honestly. Or even your own curiosity.
The bigger question is how the fuck did the judge not see this and previously, if that's even possible?
It is possible. It's very possible, actually.
How? How the fuck could he have not seen it?
Not seen the direct murder video of Charlie Kirk? Yeah, there's plenty of people that did not see that. Plenty of people that did not see that video. Like, I mean, like the actual raw feed of it, right?
I don't believe that in any fucking sense.
Well, you know, you're on the internet a lot. So am I. And yes, us internet dwellers, yes, we see certain things. But everyone else are not seeing these things. Like most people have not seen the actual raw video footage of Charlie Kirk getting a.
No, you're fucking wrong, dude. It was on fucking all news stations. It was shown.
No, not the raw footage of it.
Yes, it was. It was shown on fucking Fox and CNN and MSNBC.
They showed Charlie Kirk with a hole in his neck and blood spurting out. They showed that everywhere?
Yes.
Nah, you're definitely wrong on that one, man. There's no fucking chance that happened. There's no chance. Maybe a blurred version? In fact, they might even show like a half second of a blurred version. Is more likely than them showing raw footage of someone bleeding out. I don't think so. I doubt that one. But yeah. I just think just dead ass. Yeah, you're wrong. I think you're wrong on that one. But all right, let's play. Here we go.
It was on Twitter from dude.
Yeah, it was Twitter. Internet dwellers, like I said, internet dwellers. For sure.
No, everyone's an internet dweller.
I don't think so.
If you don't think they are. You're delusional if you don't think they are.
I don't think so. I mean, my parents didn't see the raw footage. My uncles, they didn't see the raw footage. I don't know. They're not on the internet like that. You're scrolling through Twitter feeds all the time. Like, yeah, and you'd probably see it. All right. But if you're not on the internet like that, you wouldn't see that. I don't think you'd see it. And the judge looks like a man, I don't know, what 10 years older than me? A little bit less. That guy's not on the internet like that. He's doing judge work, all day.
Yeah. Maybe your 70-year-old parents, 60-year-old parents might not have seen it.
You think the judge is on like Twitter all day or TikTok or something like that? Or even
There's
YouTube?
There's no way this is the first time this judge has seen it. That absolutely isn't possible. But to say that fucking the majority of the country hasn't seen it, that's a fat lie.
Well, I could be wrong, but I'm not lying. I actually believe, I don't think that many. It seems like a lot of people, right? But if you look at like 3.6 million people, that's nowhere near the majority of the country. Nowhere near it, right? Like 400 million people.
3.6 million.
I'm saying a lot of these videos, they get what, 3.6 million views, 10 million views, even 15 million views, maybe, right?
Dude, it was shared
on certain accounts.
Times.
Yeah, they're sharing it with each other. Internet people sharing it with other internet people. And in fact, actually, after day one, those things kind of got rid of them off of social media, right?
Okay. If you count how many times Alex Jones showed it on his own, that's 40 million. There you go.
Okay, but who's watching Alex Jones?
40 million.
40 million individuals are all watching Alex Jones. Do you believe?
Yes.
Do you believe that? Oh man, that's sad. You can't be someone like rewatching it for four or five different times. You don't think that happened?
Why would someone need to watch something 4 or 5 times?
They can watch and come back to it and watch.
To share it?
No, they can
share it.
Listen, are you in crybaby mode right now? What's going on? You okay?
I'm just making logical sense, and you want to fucking chop that up every fucking time I talk to you. So whatever.
Yeah, you sound
when
like
you're ready to move on, we can.
All right, sounds like you're in crybaby mode. It's okay though.
No, I mean it sounds like you are admitting defeat and you're ready to move on.
I admit defeat. I'm ready to move on now.
Okay.
Dubster, the destroyer of worlds, has destroyed my world. I'm gonna reset this. Stop the lagging. I mean, I'm crying. All right, here we go.
Over. And it kind of seems like the judge did, which is very cool. On to day 2 and all the big reveals, because day 2 has been much more substantive. They're on lunch break right now. They're just finishing lunch break. So I might make another update at the end of this video with what happens in the afternoon. We'll see how it goes. But the morning of day 2 was jam-packed. And one of the first most significant things that they did was they showed in the courtroom on a side screen that the media was allowed to film. They showed the video compilation that had been a big thing in day 1, where they wanted to introduce this video compilation of tracking allegedly Tyler Robinson's, this person in maroon shirt and then the black shirt, tracking his movements around the campus and onto the roof and then off the campus, which pretty much is all footage that we've all seen. We were all wondering if they had more footage, which they have higher quality footage, but not more footage really, for the most part. And they made a compilation and they did some zoom ins and they added some like circles and highlighting to sort of like help you see it. And that was not allowed on day 1. It was like, you're not allowed to present edited footage. Sorry. And that's a good call. No edited footage. If it was edited
no, they were allowed to show it, but they couldn't show it to the public, right? The potential jury members or whatever the fuck, right? So thus they kept it. Yeah, they showed it inside the courtroom for the sake of not just the judge seeing it, but also the team seeing it, so they can make their arguments of like why it should or shouldn't be a part of the case. And then that's why they hit it. But all right, here we go.
Faith, honestly, it would have been helpful, because now I'm going to do the same edits that they did to try to make it easier to see. And it's not going to help their fucking case, honestly. Zooming in on it, not going to help their case. But what we have now, because today they re-prepared the videos so that they're not edited, they're just compiled together. And we got to see them by the media panning and filming the side screen. So our view is not great. It's not the original like raw footage, but we can see what they've got. So we're not going to watch the whole video. We're going to kind of pan through and make some points.
Put it on all screens.
But you can see how they're zooming in on the side screen, and this is our.
That's crazy. The times I tuned into this thing, the TV screen was like facing, like the camera had like a direct straight line angle of it. This is crazy that it's so tilted like that. And they're trying to not bias the audience. Like that's kind of crazy. But all right, here we go.
View is just the media filming this TV screen.
May be published to the screens.
Department of Motor Vehicle Records. The vehicle fits. Yes.
Oh, here they're describing how they identified the vehicle.
That was provided regards to driver's license and Department of Motor Vehicle Records. The vehicle fits the description of a vehicle owned by Mr. Robinson.
Is there anything unique about that vehicle that stands out to you?
The shape of the vehicle is very distinct, but predominantly the wheels were very distinctive on this version of the vehicle.
So it happens many, many times throughout the various parts of the transcripts, but they never say they're identifying the vehicle based on its license plate or anything like that. It's always the shape of the vehicle and the wheels. And it's just a Dodge Charger. I mean, I'm no Charger expert, but it's just Dodge Charger.
Now what do we see?
So it's a little imprecise, but don't need to be super picky about it. This is where they show the car pulling in with his very distinctive wheels.
September 10th.
I don't know. You tell me how distinctive those wheels are.
2025.
But they show Tyler Robinson entering.
I believe that's Tyler Robinson.
Allegedly Tyler Robinson.
Where does he go from there?
That fool needs to go outside more, man.
So this is
Hell
all
as fuck.
footage that we sort of had screenshots from before. We've never seen the video footage.
Oh, yeah, it's like
and it's in pretty high definition as it's presented here in the courtroom. We don't have a good high definition feed of it.
He heads out of the parking garage on foot into the campus and actually goes to the quad area of the campus. At that time, he makes contact with some representatives from tpusa.
By quad.
That was a new detail that came out in the trial, is that he apparently first thing in the morning, the timestamp up there is 9:24 a.m. He parks in the parking garage, which, by the way, is a key pass gated parking garage. The general public can't drive into that parking garage, so I don't know how he got into it. But he gets into the parking garage, parks his Dodge Charger, and then walks in and allegedly meets with someone from tpusa. I presume that they're not saying that he had a secret meeting. I presume they're just saying that he walked into the event area and asked someone some questions or something about the event. I assume that's what they mean. It's not like some nefarious meeting or something.
Area.
Sorry, the amphitheater is what I previously referred it to.
Right.
Then they show him
he goes
coming
up on
back.
campus, visits the.
They have a brief conversation about what he did on campus, even though they don't show footage of it.
The amphitheater area, the courtyard or quad.
Correct.
And then what do we see here now?
He returns on foot back to the same vehicle.
And what time is he returning back to the vehicle?
So then the vehicle exits.
The parking structure.
Yes.
So then this is the part where he now goes and parks off in the neighborhoods, and then he walks back into campus. Again,
a different outfit.
Again, wearing his shorts.
Oh, okay.
And all that. So this is the walk onto campus where we got the TMZ video from the camera showing this guy in the red shirt walking through the neighborhood and everything. This is sort of like what we already knew about.
And he's carrying a blue backpack.
Describe the clothing.
It's a maroon colored t-shirt with...
And we can generally trace this figure, this maroon t-shirt guy, back through the neighborhood on various cameras that we have footage from. We can basically trace him back all the way back to the neighborhoods to at least having seen the gray Charger as well out in those neighborhoods. Around timing where he starts walking. It's pretty easy to tie this maroon shirt person to the Charger, both in the parking garage and then again out in the neighborhoods when he goes out there and walks in this way.
Gray or olive colored shorts and then Converse shoes.
Then this is him exiting.
And purchase some food, sat and ate the food.
Okay, we get a new food
track
stop.
His movements on campus. He went to Chick-fil-A in the Sorensen building and purchased some food, sat and ate the food. Then,
so it's interesting, right, that he apparently went to the Sorensen building and purchased and ate some food. So there's all these other places where we would get different camera angles that might show his face better. Like maybe when he's eating food, maybe when he's ordering food. I bet there's security footage right above the cash register of the fucking customers. We don't see any of that footage. I'm curious what all that footage would show, but they just gloss right over it and only show us the footage from his entrance and exit. That's basically the stuff we've already seen, where his face is...
Yeah, you can't see his fucking face. Exactly. Can't see it exactly. There we go.
Only show us the footage from his entrance and exit. That's basically the stuff we've already seen.
Did he say, that guy in the courtroom that said he went to go get some food, was that suggestive or was that definitive?
It sounded quite definitive because that'd be so random to say as a guess. I guess he went to Chick-fil-A and ate some food. It's not like he was saying it a lot more definitive in tone, at least, right?
Yeah,
and he was the lead officer in regards to this so far. The British guy, he was like the lead SBI, it's State Bureau of Investigation guy, I think, for this. And you would think the lawyers would
it
ask like
implies he has
things.
something to. He at least has some. Maybe it's not footage, but it is something as in evidence that puts him in the cafeteria of the Sorensen building.
And they should do more than just say like, well, it looks like Tyler Robinson, so thus Tyler Robinson was here. Right? They should do more than that, right? When it comes to investigation.
I just watched like 20 minutes of Candace, and it's like, and it was everything she was saying was, looks like Tyler Robinson, never see his face, so it's all that kind of shit.
Yeah, with all the cameras that exist on planet Earth right now. Apparently no one caught it like his direct. Here he is, it's him right here. Somehow that was never captured. License plate somehow not captured either. Yeah, we are there. What's up, play? Let's see where it goes.
She's talking about the exhaust pipes of the Challenger too.
Yeah,
Then she showed a picture of his quote unquote car being towed, and it did look like it was the same exhaust pipes. If you just went to the back of the truck versus the side of or back of the Challenger, no Charger. Then if you
people were saying
were on the side of it,
one was like
so her picture isn't definitive either.
Yeah, so people were saying like the
opposing claim is not definitive either.
Okay, well, I don't know what I didn't watch her part of the video. I had her video on today, but I wasn't watching it at all. To be fair, but I've heard people share the idea of like a what are they calling it? Like a quad exhaust of like four kind of like separate holes.
Two dualies on each side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Versus the car being his, I guess, actual car being towed, right, and taken in, where it had like just two open holes as mufflers or whatever.
Well, you couldn't see that because of the picture she showed on the screen for his car being towed was a side shot, and it could be a single on each side. It had two exhausts at least on the sides, but it could have had four. You just didn't have the right angle to be definitive about it.
And it's blurry as fuck too. I'll be honest, it's like blurry. For some reason, every camera I guess sucks in Utah. They all suck ass. They're all like blurry ass fucking pictures. Apparently, I'm like, okay, but I don't know. There was that, and there was like the fender, not the fender. Kind of like the bumper, right? And there's like either a certain attachment or non-attachment that they were saying like, oh, that's different. The cars are different because of that. Like one was more like closer to the ground. One is like raised up more. I don't fucking know, personally. But once again, where is our clear as day picture of something? Where is that at? We're watching like internet videos. That's what the courtroom is showing. They're showing internet videos basically, like shit we already seen, right? And just as blurry as what we saw on the internet. No, like, oh my god, here's the direct, natural, naked feed. 4K, perfect resolution, security camera, right? On like a decently known university, but all right. Maybe they have like a Epstein problems, right? Where the camera's blurry all the time. All right, here we go.
It's completely impossible.
We rely on the same cameras. We rely on those same cameras for facial recognition that can tell you the eye color of somebody, a half-inch off wrinkle that can identify somebody versus someone else. Same cameras we're using.
Yeah. Here we go.
Entrance and exit. That's basically the stuff we've already seen, where his face is completely impossible to make
in the
out.
Sorensen Center.
And where is that in relation to the amphitheater?
So now we've got Chick-fil-A, then we've got Dairy Queen, then we've got barbecue later.
Side of the amphitheater.
Just eating a lot of food. It's hungry work being a patsy.
Upper back edge of the amphitheater, the east side of campus.
Then we get to black shirt guy, with jeans on that is allegedly the same person, though there's no clear evidence given to corroborate that it is the same person. There's nothing tying one person to the other than that they appear to be the same person and that they're telling us it's the same person. But it's not like we have not seen black shirt guy with the vehicle. We haven't seen maroon shirt guy change into black shirt clothes. We don't have any way to tie black shirt guy to maroon shirt guy other than circumstantial. They say so, just to clarify. And now comes the limp and the skinny jeans that apparently are holding a disassembled Mauser rifle. So his left leg obviously bends a lot. It's this right leg that we're being told has the rifle in it.
And he stuffs the phone in that pocket too. Like a giant
And
fucking,
honestly,
like, rectangle in
this
his
is the
back
best frame I've seen so far. I can't really zoom in my QuickTime player any better. Maybe we'll try to zoom in on this part in the video we watch in a second. But honestly, right here, this is the closest I've seen to something that looks like a straight object in his pants at all during this whole process so far.
Why? Well, let me ask you
Because the claim is that he has a rifle down this leg of his pants. That's the claim.
I do, yes.
Okay. And why do you believe it's Mr. Robinson?
The shoes are the same, and the images that we have are from my view.
So now the belief is that the right pant leg contains the rifle.
And seeing Mr. Robinson on the video, it's the same person.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
This
He
is at
wearing different
11:55
clothing,
a.m.
And he also is walking with a gait or a limp in this video.
With the gait.
But wait a minute.
From my viewing and
So again,
seeing Mr. Robinson
it's suspect's
on the video,
left leg
it's the same
bends,
person.
right leg stays straight.
He's noticeably wearing different clothing.
He is wearing different clothing, and he also is walking with a gait or a
Again,
limp
right
in
leg
this
staying
video.
straight.
With a gait or what?
A limp.
Okay. Now what do we see?
This is Mr. Robinson coming up the stairs of the parking structure. Again, he seems to be having issues walking.
Keeping his face hidden. So this is where we got the still frames that were released the day of. This is where they come from, is this video. And seeing the video, honestly, makes me more open to the argument that there's something down those pant legs, possibly. Like this, seeing this video, I think it doesn't strengthen, like it doesn't do a whole lot to me, to my perspective, but it doesn't like strengthen the idea that it's totally debunked that this person had something in his pants legs. Because seeing it in motion is a little more clear than still images.
And again, were you able to track? Were you able to track Mr. Robinson when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were.
Wait, what? Now it seems to be the right leg is bending and the left leg is straight.
When he leaves this parking structure?
Yes.
Right? Now his right leg is the one bending and his left leg is straight. Or supposed to be straight. That's like his limping
We
leg.
were
now.
able to.
Okay. So when he leaves the parking
Yeah,
structure,
actually. Unless they
Am
reverse
I
the
crazy
images?
here, guys? I'm
I
never heard that
after you do the deed, you're supposed after you shoot people, you're supposed to put it on your left leg.
He didn't shoot him yet, though. That's the point.
Well, they said parking structure. He was going up the stairs. Now he's going down the stairs, right?
No,
Like
but
he's done the
we
deed.
saw him jump off the rooftop, right? That's how he escaped, right?
Fuck. So he's going up and down the stairs.
Maybe he went up one set and went down another. Maybe the image is reversed. I don't fucking know. But that visual definitely looked like he switched the legs that he was like limping on. Looks like it like switched, which doesn't make sense unless the camera's reversed. But even then, I think even that would. I don't know. I never heard that one before. That one's new to me. I'm gonna back up. Pause. All right, here we go.
Robinson, when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were.
Wait, what? Now it seems to be the right leg is bending and the left leg is straight.
When he leaves this parking structure?
Yes.
Right? Now his right leg is the one bending and his left leg is straight. Or supposed to be straight. That's like his limping
We
leg.
were
now.
able to.
Okay. So when he leaves the parking structure,
Am I crazy here, guys? I'm contradicting what I just said. I just said that the video makes me willing to admit that maybe there is something in his pants legs. Because watching him walk with that, right leg limp is pretty consistent throughout this whole first clip when he's walking up the stairs and up into the thing. But then they include this other clip at the end where the limp seems to have switched legs.
Mr. Robinson,
So there was right leg was stiff, left leg was bending, and
when
now
he leaves this parking structure?
clearly right leg is the one bending and left leg feels stiff. And I have to point out that this is in a moment where he might not realize there's a camera behind him because he's kind of getting out of the stairwell. So, I mean, this is 11:56. So this is still when he's supposed to have the same gun in the same pant leg. And it definitely, the limp is significantly different in this clip, different leg than in the other clip.
Yes, we were able to.
Like,
Yeah, that's weird.
that
Okay.
last piece right
I
there,
don't know what
And again, were you able to
It's
track?
something I'm not
So
picking
were
up,
you able to
but-
track Mr.
right leg
Robinson,
straight.
when he leaves this parking structure?
Yes, we were.
Right
able
leg
to.
bending as hell, left leg
So
straight.
when he leaves the parking structure, where does
So what the fuck? What the fuck? But that's not even the part I wanted to talk about.
did he find a spot in between those two surveillance cameras to like change the gun over to a different side? Somehow, I don't know, like a bathroom up there or something. I don't know. All right.
And then again, why would he do that?
Yeah.
Let alone he did it. Why would he do it?
I don't know. Maybe his, one leg's weaker than the other. He's like, let's switch this up. It's more comfortable before I go assassinate someone. Do this. I don't know.
If I'm gonna shoot myself in the balls by carrying this rifle, it might as well be my left testicle, not my right testicle.
Yeah, if you're gonna cheddar Bob, I mean, maybe
What?
you have a preferential testicle you want to blow off. I don't know. Maybe pick sides, left versus right. All right. All right, here we go. Work. All right, here we go.
I just got distracted. I literally just kind of
1 second.
analyzed that in depth for the first time right now. Now what I want to do is, because the court didn't let them submit the zoomed in version of this footage, what they show in court is just totally zoomed out. So you literally can't see fucking anything. Nothing at all. And that's probably why they wanted to zoom in, is because this footage is not in any way proof of anything happening. You really can't even necessarily assert that there's a person on the roof
At a
until
parking
he's
lot.
over here jumping off. This is basically the footage that the FBI released already way back when the crime happened, with the addition of now they show him entering the crime scene, and they show him like walking through here, and then they show one more angle. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my video editing software where I can zoom the fuck in, and we're going to get zoomed in big time. Because ultimately, it's not helpful to see it at full zoom out. It's just, there's literally nothing on the screen. But I'm in Final Cut Pro here, and I'm just showing you, this is the actual clip in Final Cut Pro. I have made no edits to it whatsoever, other than just zooming it way in on the various portions of each of these clips. So let's just examine.
This is an image looking across the parking lot to the Losi building.
So the shooter perch is over here right above my head. The place where the suspect jumps down is off screen to the bottom right, down like here below me. This over here is the stairwell that you walk up to get onto this platform, where you can then cross the little barrier right here, and then you're on the roof and the shooting position over here. And there's two ways to get from Tyler Robinson, allegedly. He was walking into the scene right here, and then there's a doorway right here. that is a campus, like into the building, and you can go straight through here and out the other side and up the stairs, or there's a doorway down that way at this end of the stairwell, or rather, sorry, this end of this hallway that's off screen that you can also go in and through. So it's not totally clear which doorway the suspect went through, but he apparently in this clip is about to come up the stairs.
And Mr. Robinson is appearing
Right here.
on the exterior staircase, which gives access to
So those pixels,
the building roof and the
you
area
see
where
those
the
pixels?
So, if the possibility of him using that further away door, he could have gone up stairwell to, I can't tell, is there 3 floors there and then the roof, or is it?
It looks like 2 and then the roof to me. I don't know.
Okay, so he could have went up 1 flight of stairs on that. If he used the far away door, 1 flight of stairs, walked through like the, I don't know what you call it, a hallway to get to the other stairwell, and then climb the rest of the way up.
Well, he could have took the stairs up, I believe. Like,
So at least 2 possibilities here.
I don't know. I'm just here to like hear their arguments about all this more so than like I don't know. I don't know the fucking floor plan of UVU, but my guess is that I've heard that there's a staircase to the roof, straight up, and that's what he used to get up there onto that perch of the Losi building, apparently, or allegedly.
But it sounds like what he's describing is there's possibly 2 staircases.
No, there's
but one doesn't go to the roof.
Okay, there are multiple staircases. In fact, we watched that video of tactical something. Was it Gary something? The guy, like, he went up the wrong staircase to showcase what Tyler Robinson's path was. But there's multiple staircases that go upwards and towards the roof, I believe. But I think he took the one that's like in between, like the middle of, like, let's say like an L shape like this, right? There are staircases on either side, but there's one in between them that allows you to get all the way up, which is what I think is Ian. That's what Ian's pointing out, I think. That's like in between those other ones. This is like almost like direct roof access, I guess.
Oh.
But all right, well, let's find out. Hurry up.
A staircase which gives access to
So those
the
pixels.
Losi building roof and the
You
area
see
where
those
the railing
pixels?
was.
And again, let's break that into
See these pixels?
quadrants. Where
You
would
see
be
that
located?
person right there?
Look it into quadrants.
It's in the top right, and
That person
the
right
individual
there?
can be seen.
You see it?
Moving under the notations that are on the video.
No, I see
This
it.
right here is the video of the suspect. Can you see it? Is that right there?
And what time is this?
It's just afternoon, about 12:15.
On what day?
So there's
On
the suspect
December-
clambering over the,
Sorry,
the
December.
railing.
And that's zoomed in by like 100.
And it's worth noting, took me a second to figure this out. It's worth noting that in the actual footage, so 12:15, and then it jumps to
And what time is this?
12:17 right there.
It's just afternoon, about 12:15.
On what day?
2 minute dead.
On December.
So it's still a compilation. They're still editing together different clips, and then it jumps again in a
Sorry,
second here.
December. September 10th, 2025.
What just happened, or what did we just see happen?
The individual actually kind of
12:22
rolls.
So they cut 5 minutes out right around the time that the individual rolls over onto like the actual roof proper.
That's
which is
fucking
important to
crazy to do
realize. If you don't realize that, it's even more suspicious. But they cut 5 minutes out, and then this is the footage that we see.
What just happened, or what did we just see happen?
The individual actually kind of
that was the
rolls
cut.
over the railing.
And now here's the individual running out onto the roof. So what we can learn from that is that basically there was 5 minutes, give or take, where the suspect had gotten onto the roof and was like hiding by the little bit like retainer wall, allegedly assembling the rifle. Although in the initial charging documents, they said he changed his clothes on the roof too, which obviously does not fit their current narrative. So there is some huge discrepancy between the initial charging documents and what we're now is like the actual case. That's fine. You know, it's okay, I guess, I think. But it's 5 minutes to assemble the rifle, basically. That's the story, because the rifle's in the pants, and now the rifle's ready to go. And they cut 5 minutes out of the footage, so that's all they had.
Onto
And now
the roof of the Losi building.
All right.
it actually seems to freeze for a second, and the pixels just stay there for a moment, and then pixels
And
keep
again,
moving.
in the top left corner, the individual is now seen.
And then
running
pixels
across
keep
the
moving.
Rooftop of the Losi building to what would be the southwest corner.
And then the pixels are just
the
over
building.
there. But notice that
crouching
like
down
there's
and then
pixels
crawling to
moving
the corner
here.
of the building.
Smoke maybe? I don't know. So there's just pixels
And this is at what time?
over there.
It's almost like a
Around
train going
12:23.
by.
I think the timestamp on the video is 12:22
On the 10th.
on September 10th. Yes,
So we're
2025.
clear. This is the roof of the Losi building.
Correct.
And you're watching
Can you still see
the
that
assassination of the decade.
Yes, you can, laying prone.
Yeah, you can tell that he's laying prone right there, can't you? Can't you see that he got prone and then crawled into position and then set up his shot? Whatever's going on with these pixels up here, apparently they can tell that he lies down, crawls up to the position, sets up the shot and takes it there, and then runs away. And it kind of came out in another part of the testimony that basically he set up the shot within about 30 seconds, give or take, which is a very fast time to set up a shot. But I'm no sniper. Neither is Tyler Robinson. But make of that what you will.
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I'm sorry?
You believe this to be Mr. Robinson?
I do, yes.
Yeah, whatever this is, I believe this to be Mr. Robinson, wherever it is, whatever pixels we're
How
talking about.
long is he out there on the edge of the building?
Just until the reported shot was fired at 12:23 and 28. The individual then stands up and then moves across the building to the
So that's where it kind of comes out that it's like, well, he's only there until the shot is reportedly fired. So he's really only there for 30 seconds or so. And then he stands up,
What we're seeing
and
happening
then we
right
see the
now.
pixels running.
It is, yes.
And this is the
They
part that
move
was already
behind
released by
But
the
does
FBI.
the
Does the
atrium area
shoes
on the
match?
rooftop to the northeast.
What'd you say?
But does the shoes match the other picture?
His shoes? I think they do. The gray Converses? Oh, wait. Oh, okay. You mean like in this picture where
No, I
we
mean-
can't see a fucking thing, right?
Right.
How the fuck could we tell?
I'm being I'm being like facetious as fuck.
Right.
But does his shoes match? Because they said he changed his clothes, but he has the same shoes. So that's how we know it's still Tyler Robinson. So does his shoes match in this picture?
Judge, irrelevant. I want this case. He's guilty, all right, Judge? Guilty. All right, here we go.
This corner where the white triangle is.
And then we've seen the part where
You see
Homie
Mr.
jumps down.
Robinson now.
I mean, what?
I
is
do,
that?
yes. He's just arriving at the corner of the building.
It's a little sus
Could be a
that
fly
they
like running across the
actually
lens of the
refer to him
camera,
as
probably
Mr.
not.
Robinson the whole time and speak as though it's settled science that it's Tyler Robinson. That's a little sus to me.
He then crosses Campus Drive.
This is a new
This
angle
can't
that we
fly.
didn't have before.
It's 12:24 and 42 on the time.
For anybody with a
Where is he
brain.
now?
So I guess
Up to
these,
them.
this,
Come to the
these
jury,
pixels
then.
here behind this
drops
tree.
down into the wooded area on the far side of Campus Drive.
Honestly, we don't even
Oh,
see him
some more
drop down into
pixels.
the wooded area.
And that is located in what part of the video?
Yeah,
What
we don't.
quadrant?
We don't see him drop down into the wooded area at all. But whatever. And then they also
do
add
we
some
see now?
footage from the night. This is
This is
apparently
the
the gray
intersection of
Charger,
Campus Drive and 800 South.
And,
There's a vehicle attempting to.
and they just
It's on
basically
the left side on the upper
What time?
side, the upper quadrant.
and then the car just drives.
Obviously nighttime.
And then they also
No,
add some
because
footage.
remember
from the
he
night.
was
This
he
is
was 3
apparently-
hours away getting a steak.
That has not been brought up in the case at all. That's still internet shut at this point. The defense
Well,
hasn't brought
that's-
it up,
Can,
and
I just watched Candace right before I got in here. She said he paid with his debit card. So beheaves you. That would be part of his defense. How'd I do this being 3 hours away, getting a steak at 11 o'clock at night?
yeah, but that we don't know that yet. I've already
Yeah.
I saw the original of her saying that, right, from months ago.
Yeah.
He went to get a steak and one of the employees recognized him, and they took his credit card records or something like that, or debit card records, and hey, it's him. See, but
right.
we don't.
Well, he
that's
was
not the
also
rock yet.
talking to. He sent an automated. Well, this is what Ken is saying. He sent an automated text message at 11 o'clock, and then he instantly got a response from Lance and was like, "Oh shit, I was supposed to stop that automated message." So he's talking to Lance Twiggs at this 11 o'clock hour, where he's supposedly at the same time at this restaurant 3 hours away, and saying like 11:02 or whatever, saying, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to send the automated message."
Yeah, that was the idea, that he had a, hey, in case the cops shoot and kill me or something like that, I'll have this automated thing going on. And also, what Ian pointed out, interesting, which was like, he's very, for this kind of skinny looking kid, very hungry. I guess he wasn't eating enough, because Chick-fil-A to Dairy Queen to
Chick-fil-A,
a steakhouse,
Dairy Queen.
in a kind of relatively short period of time,
Yeah.
I think. Very hungry kid. Okay.
I mean, if you're thinking that like this is my final meal kind of stuff, I'm gonna get a Blizzard, gonna get some Chick-fil-A, and I want a steak. Yeah, that kind of fits.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. He's my last. I'm sure he had this.
I mean,
if he's about to like go
It's
shoot
not the
his,
best.
well, he's about to kill someone for the first time, right? And apparently he had an appetite, big appetite during all of it, which would make him kind of a psychopathic in a way if he's not like, oh my god, or even that. It's like, hey man, I might go to jail for the rest of my life or die today. But you know what? I'm hungry though. Let me go.
Candace also said he got pulled over at 12:30 at night. That's what she said today. Is
That I
there
have
something
not
to that,
heard.
or am I getting times wrong?
That I have not heard. He got pulled over. I never heard that. Never heard that. Maybe that's in the first couple
At
days of the
12:30
trial.
that night.
Maybe Ian will bring it up, because maybe it's part of the first couple days of the trial or the preliminary that I didn't see. So maybe that was brought up. I didn't hear about that at all, honestly. But all right, let's keep
I
on.
might have heard her wrong, but I'm pretty sure she said that.
Okay, fair enough. I'm sure we'll find out potentially from this video, but here we go.
The
gray
intersection of
Charger.
Campus Drive and 800 South.
And,
there's a vehicle attempting to.
And they just
it's on
basically
the left side on the upper
right there.
side, the upper quadrant.
And then the car just drives past, and
Now what do we see?
not super
That
clear. This
vehicle's
is
now pulling away
6:36
and heading
p.m.
east on 800 South.
UTC.
I can't
I
tell.
can't tell that's even a Charger.
Yeah, I can't tell what to make of the card. I can barely see like that could be black. That could be a darker gray. I can't even tell the coloration of that, honestly.
Right.
Like that could be like black or of a car. And the
Right.
make, no fucking chance. Other than like I can rule out like SUV, I guess, but I can't tell. There we go.
Now what do we see?
Not super
That
clear. This
vehicle's
is
now pulling away
6:36
and heading
p.m.
east on 800 South.
UTC.
Actually, I could see SUV too. It's, I think, once again, with their surveillance videos and their quote unquote enhancements of it, or the style of the lens of the camera, some of these things are like stretched out or scrunched together or whatever the fuck, to where it's like it's actually not great for observation for a public, at least, right? If we had the raw footage in front of ourselves, right, we can like actually rewind and look back at it and take measurements, mental measurements of like, hey, this lamppost is like this size, so this car must be this size, or in comparison to other cars, right? But we can't do that. We're just watching it through this fucking courtroom feed, and it's hard to tell, honestly. But all right, here we go.
So that's the new version of the footage that they released in court today, and it doesn't help at all. So, just to clarify, in case it wasn't clear from the video footage, here it is in plain language spoken by the actual prosecution.
Shows the defendant walking around the UVU campus qualifies.
Thank you. Anything further?
From the state, no, but I think I'd like to be crystal clear. You asked if there's any portion of this video that captures, and I believe you asked of the actual shooting. There's no video of that. There is video, however, and you've heard testimony related to this, where the shooter goes to the top of the low-C building, goes out to the edge of the building, low crawls, and then leaves after what we assume is the shot being fired.
So just to make sure you didn't miss that.
Yeah.
He just said there's no footage of them actually shooting. The grainy footage, and then a 5-minute cutout, and then they come back as what they presented in court. But there's no footage of the actual shooting. You saw the what's this guy's name? Fucking pointing out. They showed some
pixelated image
pixels on the roof. So they could have said, well, we did see that he shot up there. If there was actual, even like a suggestion of that, but they're admitting right there that they don't even have it.
Then we assume, right?
Like let's say a flash came from the muzzle that caused light depictions where the pixel guy was. They would have been like, yeah, that's the muzzle light flash. That's the muzzle flash. They're saying we don't even have that.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why Ian's bringing this up is because there's people that claim to be in the courtroom that, like, hey, we saw a 4K zoomed in HD, whatever the fuck you want to call it, video feed of Tyler Robinson. You can see his face and everything. We just saw Benny Johnson saying this of like, we can see his face, we know it's him, and he's taking this shot right now. Pause. Like that is what these influencers are saying after they leave the courtroom, and I'm like, how could they not? How could they not be sued for that? That's kind of crazy, in my opinion.
Well, if Tyler Robinson wins, he can sue the shit out of him. If he wins.
Yeah, who knows? This smells so fishy that this dude might just go to jail the rest of his life or death penalty. Like the way, like everything that smells
the
fishy.
obvious conclusion. That's the obvious conclusion to me. Like that's what they're gonna do. Who cares? They have another conspiracy to talk about for 40 years.
Although the judge sounds like he's not hardcore buying into a lot of things happening in the case, right? So potentially, maybe he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna give you the death penalty because maybe I look for an appeal here at some point by someone to relitigate this because this doesn't look right." Right? He can't decide innocence or guilt, right? But he could be like, you know what? I can leave room for the possibilities of some sort of appeal process, right? Because everything they've shown so far, we don't see his face anywhere. Apparently, he's a super spy that's covering his face at every possible camera angle. He's covering his face up. His car might magically change for all we know. He's magically changing clothes or switching the legs, switching the leg in which the gun was concealed under, right, in his jeans. A screwdriver. I guess he took the weapon apart or put it together there. He's Spider-Man. He can jump off rooftops. Like, there's all these things where it's like, man, this is not a clean But then again, it's like they see so much wreckage that they might. Yeah, I don't know.
And he has no military training, but he knew how to do this spy shit.
Yeah.
But he didn't plan for this very long either.
Yeah, apparently.
Like he didn't plan 5 years. He didn't go through basic training to learn this shit for 5 years. Or
they showed his. Now I'm not a gun guy at all, but they showed his shooting chart, right at like a gun range, right? You can see like the little target thing and where the bullets go and shit. And once again, I'm not an expert, but I listened to Valhalla VFT talking about it, and he's like, "Yeah, this guy wasn't a good shot at all. Like some of his like misses were like way off the fucking thing, right?
To get qualified as a sniper, you have to hit within the first circle 3 times with 3 shots.
Yeah.
And you don't get that qualification until you do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, and this guy was like hitting like the top left of the fucking thing of the target, the top bottom right of the target, right? And then like slowly got closer to the bullseye, right? Slowly got closer to it, but it's
Dude,
I don't know.
Charlie didn't need to be a sniper. It was not necessary.
I mean Tyler, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That's not a qualification needed. I mean, if you could sneak into a building, hide your face from every camera, and then jump off a roof, you got the rest of this shit covered.
but forget the screwdriver there that came from your house. You think all these weird things where it's like he's a genius in one area and just dumb as fuck in another. Confession letter on one hand, but also hiding his face from cameras on the other hand. Like it doesn't like I'm trying to like make this make sense, and it's just looking kind of weird. And then going back to this of hey, we don't actually have footage of him taking a shot, and it's all a bunch of like I believe that's Mr. Robinson there, right? Meanwhile, you can't see his face. Sometimes the car is not even that good quality or visible, right? That thing wasn't like a zoomed in from 10,000 yards away, right? The parking lot footage, right?
It was.
It looked kind of blurry. No, like in the parking garage, right? Inside the structure that where cars are parking. It still looked kind of blurry to me. I don't know.
To me, that was a black car. My eyes told me that was a black car, not a gray car.
Fair enough. It could be like a dark gray. I don't know exactly what. The images I saw, I'm like, yeah, that's like a dark gray. I can see that clear as day. Like the HD photos of them like towing the car. If that was Tyler's car, then yeah, it looks like a dark gray. But the parking garage.
The photo that Candace showed, of them towing away the car, that was definitely gray. But the parking garage, that was black car to me. To my eyes.
Fair enough. I kind of saw it as maybe dark gray, but once again, why is the camera footage so fucking blurry looking and weird like that? I don't know. Maybe the people inside the courtroom are getting like better images than we're getting. But either way,
We're
like
seeing the same thing they're showing us, unless it's that fucking corrupt.
yeah, it'd be crazy. But like it's so like I don't know. Even if you say like, "Hey, I can see someone laying on a rooftop, and I can see a muzzle flash from a rifle," right? How do we know that's him? Like, you don't see his face. You don't get like a, "Oh my god, that's blatantly Tyler Robinson," right? Like, you don't really.
Yeah.
At least the things we've seen, we don't really get that. But all right. Let's apply. Ian's gonna go over the influencers in the courtroom saying, like, "I clearly saw Tyler Robinson's face shooting this gun. I saw it." Here we go.
Is the shot being fired?
So, just to make sure you didn't miss that, the judge had asked before they showed the footage, is there footage of the actual shooting? The prosecution explicitly says, no, there is no footage of the actual shooting. But there is what you're about to see, what we just watched. There is footage of him getting onto the roof, going out, low crawling into position, and then getting up and running away. And we presume that the shot happened there in the middle. So in case it wasn't clear, prosecution is clear that that's not footage of a shooting. That's footage of some pixels that you can interpret however you want. This is Catherine Nestor cross-examining the lead investigator for the State Bureau of Investigations about the video.
All right, now I want to go back to the videos that we've seen and the question that I just asked before, which is it fair to say that nothing about the video of the individual on the roof revealed to you, you couldn't see facial features, you couldn't see what they were wearing, correct?
Of the individual on the roof?
Correct.
I know that there was a meeting to discuss perhaps a pattern on the front of the shirt that was observed when the individual was jumping off of the roof.
Okay. That's fair. But at that time, as of the 11th, before Mr. Robinson turned himself in, you all had not been able to determine that. Is that right?
Excuse me. Determine who he was or
No.
determine distinguishing features?
Determine distinguishing features of the video
Yeah.
of the person on the roof.
Yes, we had a person of interest and those images were released to the press.
You're talking about the ones in the stairwell from the
Correct.
from the parking garage.
Correct.
But the video on the roof was not distinguishable. Fair?
That video as a standalone
Yes.
was not, no.
So they're just kind of going back and forth. She's establishing precedent. She's getting her points in, which is just legal precedent. But she's pointing out that until Tyler Robinson turned himself in, y'all had no fucking clue who he was, and that pretty well got laid out. That they didn't know who they were looking for until he just walked in and turned himself in. And furthermore, she's clarifying that the video on the roof, you have no fucking clue who that is, which is, pretty obvious. So then they get into some discussion of the fact that he's jumping down with this rifle and allegedly walking around with a fully assembled rifle. They get into some discussion about whether you can tell it's a rifle when the person jumps down in the video, and it doesn't look like one. And this guy just has to keep saying object because it's obviously, we don't know if it's a rifle. It's an object, a long object. It could be a rifle. So she pressed him on that a fair bit to kind of clarify that it's like, you have no fucking clue if that's a rifle, dude. We still don't have any footage of this person, of Tyler Robinson, of anyone holding a rifle anywhere on UVU, anywhere on campus. There is no footage of any guns anywhere.
Yep.
There is a bullet being found on another roof now that is mysterious and washed right over.
It's accounted for.
He was prone.
Right.
I think it took, I would estimate between
On the roof? Okay.
So here's where she presses him on how long he might have had to set up the shot.
Also, when you were revealing the timeline, exactly how long was there between when the person was prone on the roof and when the shot was taken? Do you recall?
If you would like to replay the video, I can time it for you, but I don't recall. It was my guess. I would estimate between 15 and 30 seconds.
So that means between 15 and 30 seconds for an amateur to crawl into position, crawl all the way up to the spot, get zeroed in, pick a shot, take a deep breath, take the shot, jump up and run away. Bro's a quick shot, a real quick shot.
So between 15 and 30 seconds to lay flat, take a shot, and get up and run off.
I'd be curious how long it takes Matt Tardio to get into position and take a shot on his belly. I'd be curious if esteemed military personnel online that are shilling the Fed narrative,
take a shot, it wouldn't be
how long it
accurate.
takes them to get into position and take a solid shot that they cannot miss, by the way.
Right?
It would be like
I think you
sniper,
asked how long he was prone. I
Right.
think
sniper stuff.
I mean,
Like,
she
sure,
can get
you could
lucky.
lay down, you could lay down prone, kind of like look through the scope, take the shot. Your accuracy, highly likely to be really bad. Like, just think about like the idea of taking wind measurements. That would take I would say they would never even consider taking a shot without like 3 minutes of wind measurements. Like a real sniper, like trying to survive being in hostile territory and not being detected. Like, because you're gonna, before you take your shot, you're gonna be like scoping out the area, and you want to do it from your prone position. But I'm not saying Tyler gave a fuck about that. He could have just been there and been like, "I'm here to take this shot. Pray it works for hitting Charlie Kirk." Like, sure, and he shot him in the neck, and it was successful. Okay.
Maybe he's Barry Pepper and Saving Private Ryan, where he's like, "I love my rifle. My rifle loves me." He's just like,
Well,
boom, quick shot, boom, quick shot, boom. Maybe he's like a savage like that. I don't know.
Have you ever seen the old school movie Sniper?
No.
The guy. You ever see Substitute?
What Barry Pepper say? Lord, give me the strength to be accurate. Some shit like that.
Me and my rifle are one.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's a movie called Sniper, and they go through it how it's a team. One guy is the lookout guy, and the other guy is the actual shooter, and they take like they'll sit there for a day before they'll take the shot.
Yeah. Although, like, if you're thinking of like the American Sniper, the Bradley Cooper American Sniper movie, where it's like they're probably further away.
They wear diapers.
Yeah.
They wear diapers because sometimes they don't move for so long that like they shit themselves because if they move an inch, they'll like give away their position.
Yeah. There's probably like a sniper looking back at him, or potentially that. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And all right, let's keep playing. There we go.
Right.
I think you asked how long he was prone.
Right.
I think it took longer for him to crawl into position.
Okay.
And then establish a position.
Oh.
And then take the shot. He appeared to be in prone for approximately 15 to 30 seconds, but the video would verify that.
Okay. Thank you.
So again, that's the total time for him to get prone, crawl into position, and then set up his shot and take it.
Power was a
footage.
sniping god.
Okay. But were there other angles that are not shown here in this prelim?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get to. Thank you. Were you involved when the gun was located in the forest area?
I was not involved in the search for the gun, no.
Did you get notice when it was located?
From the footage that we reviewed, we identified an area that we believed could be potentially of evidentiary value, and then it was secured, and then I was notified that as a result of that search, a gun had been located, yes.
Were you involved in the processing of that gun? In other words,
I was not.
boxing it, shipping it, sending it wherever it was going to go to be
I
analyzed?
was not, no.
Okay, thank you. All right, now I want to shift to the autopsy for just a moment. You were not present at the autopsy, is that right?
I was not.
Okay. So anything you know about the autopsy was not from personal observation?
No, other than from my meeting with the medical examiner and his report, no, I was not present.
Did you meet with the medical examiner after he had conducted the autopsy?
I did, yes.
And when you met with him, did you provide him information about what you all had learned in your investigation so far?
We didn't have any reason to provide any investigative information to him. The purpose of the meeting was to establish what information he could provide to us.
Well, in fact, on the front page of the medical examiner's report, he talks about the investigation and information he learned. Did he learn that from you, or did he learn it from someone else?
It would be my recollection that he did not learn that from us, but I couldn't speak to how he did learn about it.
Okay, so you didn't share with him your conclusions about what happened or how Mr. Kirk was injured or anything like that?
That's my recollection.
Okay, thank you. And isn't it also true that fingerprints that were taken from Mr. Kirk and autopsy photos were provided to you on a CD?
Yes.
Was there anything else provided to you from the autopsy other than that?
Other than the CD and the report?
Yes.
Not to me, no.
You did mention not to you. Were you aware of anything else from the autopsy going to anyone else?
So this part's interesting, and I don't know what to make of it. I'd be curious what you guys make of this part.
I believe standard practice is anything of evidentiary value that the medical examiner collects is transferred through a chain of custody.
And are you aware of anything that was transferred after Mr. Kirk's autopsy?
I'm aware that there were items transferred for evidence, yes.
What items?
I believe some fragments of a bullet casing.
So I assume that he means fragments of a bullet, not a bullet casing. Because like the casing is not the thing that shoots into the body. So I assume he's just misspeaking and that he's referring to fragments of a bullet that were recovered from Charlie's magical steel neck. I'm assuming it's a misspeak because fragments of a casing would be very fucking weird. That wouldn't make any sense. So now we get to the part where there's just a bald guy driving Tyler Robinson's car with a bunch of other people in the car the night after the crime. When this part is just like, what the fuck are we glossing over here?
Ring camera.
Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Ring camera that you obtained, and you interviewed a woman named Ms. Noble, is that right? To get that ring camera that we watched with the car on the outside?
We interviewed her to verify the authenticity of the video, yes.
So they're about to talk about this report about the interview with Miss Noble, who is the owner of the home with the ring camera that captured allegedly
Is that the
Tyler
TMZ
Robinson's
thing?
car pulling up multiple times,
so.
I believe. But this is about when it pulled up in the middle of the night, I'm pretty sure.
Oh no,
Do you
this is
remember
different.
that the Nobles told you that the driver of the vehicle was bald?
I do remember that being in the report, yes.
And you didn't mention that today when you were talking about that ring camera, did you?
I did not.
It's an interesting thing to leave out of your discussion of the whole situation now, isn't it? If the driver of the car that we were already discussing was fucking bald, maybe that would be a little bit relevant to the case about the kid with brown hair
3 other people
murdering
in it.
someone. Okay, bud. A little concerning.
And did they also tell you there were 3 other people in the car?
Yes, I believe they thought that was the case.
So there was a bald guy driving
thought-
Tyler
are you
Robinson's
disputing
car with 3 other people in the car the night of the shooting. And that's been in the report all along. And they knew that all along. And he avoided mentioning it on first examination by the prosecution.
Exculpatory evidence.
And maybe Miss Noble got bad eyesight, and he could judge that too. He's like, listen, I wear glasses too, so you have bad eyesight. You didn't see bald people. You didn't see 3 other people in the car. What you saw was a skinny white dude, with a baseball cap on. That's what you actually saw. Okay. I don't know, but all right, here we go.
I don't honestly, knowing what we know outside of the courtroom, I honestly don't know how to square this, because the story is that Tyler Robinson was driving around that night there trying to get the rifle back, couldn't. He wound up at Dairy Queen that evening for a little bit. We know that. We have video of his car in a couple different parking lots, but not in the middle of the night. We don't necessarily know what his car did in the middle of the night until apparently now. But then my recollection is that then he was spotted like the next day down south having dinner at having food at the barbecue place the next day, getting gas down like
The next
near
day?
his own hometown. I
Well,
forget.
that was the same night.
Someone else that's
That's
more
changing.
clear on that remembers that shit better. I would be curious. Because it sounds like they're saying that a bald person with 3 buddies just used his car for a little bit in the middle of the night while he was on the run from an international manhunt. This does not square. This part does not make any fucking sense, and they just gloss right over it. Okay. Yeah. And to be clear, it's not her job to solve the case here on the stand right now in the preliminary hearing.
Oh, hold on. Yes, it is. It is. Ma'am, what's the ladies with the ring cam's name? Whatever it is.
Miss Noble.
Can we get a timestamp on your little ring camera? Boom. Case fucking solved.
Well, it's supposed
Of
to
the 4
bring
people.
evidence in, right? The only point is to say, hey, this should be a part of the conversation. And I guess the judge rules if it's a part of it or not, right?
No, I thought we're in jury mode now. We're in trial, I thought. This is today?
No. This is day 2 of the preliminary hearing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, we're
Okay.
going to present the judge with the shit, and he'll say, yeah, this is worthy or not, I guess, is the idea. But yeah, I think they put enough around the surrounds, that statement alone is enough to be like, okay, this can enter trial and showcase in front of a jury. To be like, hey, look at this.
Well, that camera timestamp should also be part of this trial.
I mean, it would have to be, right? If they use it in trial at all, they would have to showcase what time it happened, right? Otherwise, it'd be almost purposeless, right?
Right.
But all right, here we go.
The scene itself, the preservation of the actual scene where Mr. Kirk passed.
This part's good too.
Did you all have canine dogs at any point that sniffed that area?
The canine dogs. You remember how Candace broke the news that they had bomb dogs, gun dogs that did not locate the gun, that did not locate the stashed gun over by the chicken coop? And the whole tpusa Fed slop right was like, you're lying. Well, trust me, bro, source. Like, Candace always lies. Well, this would seem to be them discussing those dogs in the courtroom.
I don't know specifically that area, but I do know that canines were present, or a canine was present on the day.
So canines were present.
But you don't know what task the canine was given?
My understanding was that it may have been used in an effort to track an individual that had jumped off the roof, but I don't know for certain.
And obviously that didn't produce any results, or we would have heard about that, right?
Yeah, not that I was made aware of.
So to be fair, it's not explicitly stated that the canines that they used were trained for gunpowder. You'd think that if you're trying to track a suspect that just fired a rifle, you would be using canines that can smell gunpowder, I would assume. But that's pretty much the officer right there corroborating Candace's tip that the bomb dogs, the dogs, didn't find the gun. The gun was found later. So, again, Candace doing more to solve this case than the fucking FBI. And then
I gotta give pause to that one. This is one cop testifying. If he wasn't there on the find of the gun, I could say another officer was there and get that other officer to testify. Yes, I was in that yard where we found that gun.
Yeah. I mean, we have another SBI person, State Bureau of Investigation. That's the one I did
Some
say.
former officer. Yeah.
Yeah. But these guys work together, but she's the one that stood over when they found the gun in the first place. I guess this guy wasn't there, apparently. But I already I watched the one with the lady.
But that's prosecution's duty to say, okay, Officer A was at the school, Officer B was at pickup zone for the gun.
Yeah.
They need to make that clear.
Yeah. I mean, I think they do make it. I mean, it's just, yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe they did that, but I didn't see it. But they're definitely saying, like, yeah, this person was at the scene of, or sorry, at where they found the gun, and this other person was at somewhere else, right? He's doing something else. British guy. Wherever the fuck he's from.
Okay.
But, all right, let's keep playing. Here we go.
Then the fucking FBI. And then the pave over. The old pave over. The old shucks, my crime scene just got dug up and sent to the dump, and now there's paving stones over it. Oh,
just want to point out that for some reason all these creators feel the need to like make sure they big up Candace Owens in the middle of all this stuff. Like, see, look, Candace is right. You called her crazy? She's right, though. Like, they go out of their way to do that. Once again, they could be friends with her or whatever, so okay, I get it, but it seems like it's almost like you must do that before you continue on with whatever investigation. But all right, here we go.
I guess crazy. I can't look for to the dump. The old shucks, my crime scene just got dug up and sent to the dump, and now there's paving stones over it. Oh, gee willikers, I guess I can't look for explosive residue on the ground. Shucks. Yeah, let's see what they had to say about the pavers.
At least a couple of days, if not longer than that, before anything was removed from the scene.
You didn't have to give permission to remove the tent?
Me, personally?
Right.
No.
So you're not sure when it was removed?
No.
And were you involved in the decision to pave over the dirt that was under the tent?
At UVU?
Uh-huh.
No.
Did you know that happened?
Only because it was in the news.
All right. But you don't know when or who ordered that?
Nope.
That's a pretty fucking nonchalant nope from the lead investigator. Like, let's just clarify what just happened. This is the lead investigator on the highest profile assassination in decades. His crime scene that he is in charge of gets dug up by fucking excavators like 4 days after the crime. And then paving stones get laid down on his crime scene. And he doesn't know who authorized it. He doesn't know anything about it. He didn't have to authorize it. It's no big deal. Nope. Fucking excuse me, bro? Excuse me?
Tell him, Freddie. Let him know, Freddie.
That's not concerning to anybody? That the lead officer learned that his own crime scene got fucking paved over? He learned that from the news? Listen, I'm no lead investigator, but I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that maybe when someone gets shot in a giant high-profile assassination, maybe you should be preserving the location of that shooting for more than 3 days. Maybe until you test things like, is there gunshot residue?
What's that?
I've seen a crime scene before, but it was a guy on a motorcycle lost his foot, and it was in the night, and the cops were there for about 5 hours. They made me stay there too, and then they said you can go now.
Yeah,
but
that's
it wasn't
all right.
3 or 4 days. Right, it wasn't murder. It was an accident. Everybody lived.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, 3 days after a very suspicious thing, you bulldoze the crime scene. Is fishy as fuck. But at the same time, cops don't really return to it after they get what they need. Or want, at least.
Well, did they? That's the thing. Like, did they? That would be the question, because I've not heard that brought up of, like, what did they capture from where the person died at, right? Like, what they capture from? I don't know what they captured. Once again, I missed like the first 2 or 3 days of this whole thing, right? Of the preliminary hearing, but still, I thought I would have heard something, but maybe I just didn't, right?
I would like to know, what is, for a murder scene in a house, what is the time frame from the investigation to saying, all right, let's get the forensics cleaners to clean the place to come in?
I don't even think they did that.
And what is that? No, I mean, for normal case, cases, not this case, but other cases. Would it be hours, or would it be days? Would it be months on a normal scenario? I don't know the answer to that.
I would presume that it's based on, did they collect everything they needed to collect? Whether it's blood samples or photographs or DNA things potentially, or hey, we're going to take this oven with us because there's blood connected to the oven, right? Or let's fingerprint the fucking oven, or whatever the fuck, right? Like, whatever if they get all the shit they need, then it's probably over, right? Then they're probably done, right? And they can get like kind of like third party cleaners, right? Do that shit,
right?
But yeah, it depends on if they got everything they needed, right? I would think, but all right. But if they're walking around with their own presumptions, where it's like, oh, clear as day, some guy over there shot this dude over here, so you know what? We'll just get some blood, I guess, some photographs, and then boom, we'll close this down, and they can, or we'll shut down the investigation and let them clean the shit up because they have school to get to, right, or whatever.
And the school just decided that needed to be excavated, or maybe the school janitor was like, I'm sick of looking at that blood. Oh crap, I can't scrub it. It's not coming up. You know what? Let's replace the fucking sidewalk. Like,
it'd be wild.
You can assume 100 fucking different things for this, but there was another famous shooting. They destroyed the evidence right afterwards too, and that's what Alex Jones is sued for $1 billion on. It was 3
Sandy
days.
Hook. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
It was 3 days.
I mean,
so I don't know.
Well, actually, let me say this, because I heard a story. Not saying it's true or not, but I heard a story that they they said, oh, you don't need to like do anything, just like get like a spray hose and spray it down, and that'll clean it up. But someone else said, yo, no, don't just spray it down. Replace the entire thing, meaning like dig it up and replace the concrete and all that shit there. Allegedly. Wait, Ray, I don't fucking know if that's true or not, but I heard some whispers of that being said on Twitter, at least. I wonder if that was the case or not. I don't know. And also why, right?
Yeah, and you and I do not have direct access to know any of these whys.
Yeah, but you would think, based on what we're hearing here, you would think that this, once again, State Bureau of Investigation, right? They're FBI, Utah's FBI, basically, right? They'd give the okay, guys, we're done here. You can clean up the scene of like the blood and shit. Right?
I removed the caution tape. At least is a sign that you can do what you want here now.
And whoever would do that would ask. I would think, like, well, I mean, not everyone. Maybe not everyone's like, in that mindset. But if I was doing that job, right?
But administration might be.
I'd call to someone like, hey, man, is this okay to do now? Like, I can't just do this, right, guys? Like, is there like an okay, a thumbs up? Say, hey, go ahead, clean it up so that students don't see it, or students or faculty don't see it, right? But all right, let's keep playing.
It's fishy, and I'll leave it at that for me. Like, nobody can explain it.
Yeah.
But it's fishy as fuck. I'll give you that. 3 days, 4 days after a major fucking international issue happened, and we've seen it done before, and all it does is add to the suspicion.
Yeah, and with the idea of like, oh my God, 2026, or well, back then 2025, right? They have all this super duper technology and tech shit that could spot this or spot that, right? Like, you would think they'd want like every little crumble of evidence they can get their hands on, right? So at least that's the image I have in my mind from like TV and shit alone, right? But all right, let's keep playing. Here we go.
In a giant high-profile assassination, maybe you should be preserving the location of that shooting for more than 3 days. Maybe until you test things like, is there gunshot residue at the scene of the crime in the grass somewhere? Is there maybe explosive residue? Are there fragments of anything in the grass? Is there anything else suspicious? Is there maybe, for example, at Daly Plaza, a little chipped off piece of concrete where another bullet fucking hit the cement?
Okay.
And if you pave over this crime scene, you'll never know that more than one bullet was fired at JFK because there's clear evidence of bullets that weren't the one that hit him. But it's no big deal if you pave over the crime scene 3-4 days later or whatever, apparently. He had no idea it even happened. That's super fucking weird. I mean, to me, that seems super weird. Call me a panican, whatever you want to say. His haircut doesn't seem bothered at all by it.
And it's true that during the time before Mr. Robinson turned himself in, you all received lots and lots of tips from the public. Is that fair?
Correct.
You received tips of death threats that Mr. Kirk, understanding that the individual they used to facilitate Mr. Robinson turning himself in was someone known to Mr. Robinson personally that had been connected to law enforcement.
I know he was known to the family. I don't know his connection specifically with Mr. Robinson, but I am aware that someone was used to facilitate Mr. Robinson turning himself in.
And were you aware that he was one of his Boy Scout leaders? Did you know that?
I think I had heard that at some point. There was a connection. I didn't recall specifically what it was.
And Mr. Robinson, in fact, no police went to go arrest him. He drove himself, or he was driven with his parents to the Washington County Sheriff's Department, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
And he voluntarily walked in.
That's also my understanding, yes.
But the footage is gone, conspicuously.
That was the first moment you...
We saw an image of him walking into the interrogation room, but as far as all of him driving there, showing up, walking through the front doors, I have not seen that. But I've seen the interrogation room where I guess he walks in and they showcase the sneakers, right? The Converses. But all right, here we go. It's never.
But the footage is gone, conspicuously.
That was the first moment you ever knew his
that very common show.
Yeah, aside from the image that we had, that was the first.
the image was not his name.
Time that we had a name of an individual.
Behind Jordan's coppers is probably the most.
That is most of the clips.
America.
There's more, but that's most of the clips of new stuff.
I rock PF Flyers.
Surprising stuff that I thought was important or interesting.
Got the Benny.
It's still ongoing. A lot more will come out. A lot of opinions will be shared online. There's a lot of screeching right now. The bots are in full effect. The Fed sloppers are all out there screaming about how evil someone like me is for even thinking with my brain about anything. Don't think.
Okay. I assume he's done showing trial shit. I was curious about this. And I think it's kind of a worthy video to put out, honestly. Just from certain things I didn't know before to just our speculating about things. I think it's worthy, so this will probably come out.
Well, the thing I was thinking about after we talked about the pavement for a few minutes, one of the things they said right before that, like in the same idea of the scene of the crime, was they let tpusa take their tents down, but they didn't say anything about did tpusa ever hand over those cameras they took down, because that seems to be forgotten.
That is fuck. What did I hear? They apparently someone alleged that they gave copies, not the direct footage from the cameras themselves. I think it was more than
said she got to see it.
No, she saw the behind Charlie Kirk video footage, and she shared that, right? Which is kind of crazy that any of them.
Did she share it?
Yes, she shared a. No, I think she did share the footage. I think she did.
I thought she talked about it.
No. She talked about it, then she shared it, I believe. And it's
okay.
Yeah, this footage, seeing that there's no exit wound, was why people were talking about it so much. But that's kind of crazy that we were seeing it there before even the judge even got to see anything, right? And I assume that Ian assumed, and I would probably agree with him, that they probably used the tpusa 4K, extra super duper high definition camera footage to show the judge of what happened, right? Where it's like something that no one's seen before, right? Sorry, no one of the public has seen before, right? Where it's like that detailed HD in your face image, right? Because he was like surrounded by cameras. It wasn't just like one camera staring at him. It was like multiple cameras from tpusa aimed at Charlie, right? There's like cameras even in back, somewhere in the middle of the crowd somewhere, probably too. There's a lot of cameras there. And I would assume, and once again, if this is the case where they actually just took copy, like, hey, let's copy this, maybe compress it even, and give it to the cops, right, or the feds or whoever, and I'll keep the original. I was like, that'd be like kind of crazy, especially when it's like, yo, who the fuck are you? Why are you doing that, right? In fact, you wouldn't think like it's just some guy doing that, right? You'd think it'd be like, hey, a boss is telling the camera guy or the tech guy, like, hey, make copies, give it to the cops, and hold on to the original. I'll swing by at 8:00 and pick them up. I want the originals for myself, like some sort of like higher up, right? And probably using the excuse of like, this is for Erica, okay? Leave it alone. You can't give this to the public. This is for Erica and Erica only, okay? Or like kind of like emotionally like, blackmail them for it essentially. I see that as like a potentiality in regards to the scenario, but
no, I mean, but they were talking about that right there. I was wondering why that didn't get brought up. That's all I mean.
No, I get what you're saying, but like, if this guy made
the
copies,
defense attorney would know this by now, right?
Well, like, think about it. If the guy walked through the cameras and took all the fucking memory cards out, right, for himself or for the organization, and then like made like secondary copies to give to the cops while keeping the originals, that to me is absolutely egregious, right? And if you're the defense, you should be screaming about that, I would think.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no mention of it right there. Why not? That'd be something I'd be, as the defense attorney, be like, bro, what the fuck is this with what tpusa did right here? Or at least the specific individual that was taking the cameras down. Like, what the fuck is this?
I haven't heard anything like like Peak Prosperity, right? The YouTube channel I went over where goes over like the physics of the scenario of how bullets work and calibers of bullets and in biology when physics physics on physics where biology is involved, right? The human body's involved. I have not. I didn't see any analysis of that inside that preliminary hearing of like,
Okay,
hey, how do you
let
know
me
this
try
bullet
this one
works
for
this
you.
way at this angle? Is this possible to happen? Like, there was no. I didn't hear any of that. If it did come out, yeah, good.
As a defense attorney, one of my primary questions might be: was there any tampering with the scene of the crime?
That's kind of what she did right there, right? With the paving over thing. Right, that's kind of part of it. You mean something else?
I know, but no, I mean, dude's literally taking cameras down within 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yes, for sure.
Like,
That'd be part
as
of
a
my question.
defense attorney, I'd be screaming about that dude. I wouldn't let that fucking go until the judge said you cannot. You have exhausted everything about this.
Yeah. Now, granted, that's more of like the results of the shot versus the shot itself, right? So it's the results of the shot to where they might
I'm trying, as a defense attorney, I'm trying to say you let somebody trample your scene.
Yes. But the part of the scene they cared about was the camera capturing something, right? That was the point. Like the cameras, as far as I understand, the importance of the cameras wasn't like, hey, blood splatter hit one of the cameras, and we need to analyze that blood splatter. It's more so like the footage that was caught on the camera. And if the defense goes in there trying to argue, like maybe in their
chain of
mindsets,
custody issues.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
chain of custody issues.
yes, but also
Like
it's
that alone, that'd be a technicality. You could get the whole case dismissed. Like it might not even go to trial if I can have this truly considered.
Once again, I'm wondering how much sympathy you get from the judge or a jury if the idea is like, hey, these guys mess with the result of the essentially where the crime happened, which is up on some sort of rooftop, right? Or from the barrel of a gun. That is where the crime happens, essentially, right? This is kind of the result of the action of the crime, where it's like, hey, we want because of faultiness in the chain of custody or some sort of corruption to the evidence because of chain of custody. It's all about like, hey, what captured Charlie getting hit with the bullet in the first place, right? That's kind of would be the arguments at instead of like, hey, who shot it? Who shot the fucking gun, or who did like?
No.
Right, all right.
I'm just okay. If you're like studying law, one of the things like you're taught is this phrase technicalities. It means what are the loopholes that could get shit dismissed before it even goes to court.
Sure.
That's definitely one of them. Chain of custody. Another one is tampering with evidence. Stepping on the fucking scene of the crime, tampering with evidence. So that's two technicalities right there alone. Then you get to scream about it in the court case saying, like, let's say the judge doesn't dismiss it in these pretrial motions. Let's say he gets to, you're in front of a jury. Now you get to say, look, sure, the judge didn't allow that for some odd reason. I get to preach about it to the jury. I get to continue to fucking talk about this. It is like, it's just something that I would like. It doesn't stop. I get to use it in appeals. I get to take it to the Supreme Court. Like it's kind of a all the way kind of thing.
I get that, and once again, I'm not some law expert at all. I'm just using my sense of what I think people would do with all this stuff, and I would think that chain of custody of someone taking the shot would be held heavier than chain of custody of the result of the shot. Although they're both important, right? But the idea of like, hey, 8 different hands had their hands on the tape of a guy taking a shot, right? Or a guy on surveillance camera walking up to the roof and then taking a shot, right? And him running away afterwards. Like, if that gets tampered with, that's like extra crazy compared to the result, which is It is like, hey, Charlie Kirk is dead, blatantly, and sure, maybe someone like edited out or blurred out the blood that's coming out of his neck, right? They blur it out. Yeah, sure. There's like a chain of custody thing there where you're tampering with evidence, but if you have someone taking a shot, like that is, if you tamper with that, now it's like, oh, okay, someone can like, in a way, like throw the whole fucking case on its ass, right? If it's like, hey, Tyler's, high school bully got access to the tape and edited it or changed it around or whatever the fuck, flipped it around or something like that, right? That's way different than just the result of it, which is Charlie getting shot in the neck. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Like, there's like a different level to it.
I get what you're saying, but she didn't even mention it, and that's what's fucking with my head. Something that's that powerful in the way the system works, and she doesn't even mention it. Like I don't know if I've heard them talk about a pre-motion trial pre-trial motion to dismiss for this purpose. I would think that'd be like one of my strongest fucking things to do. And she doesn't even mention it when we're talking about tampering with the fucking scene.
I'll say fair enough for the shit we saw. I don't know if she actually does bring it up. Once again, this is Ian's video. Talk about like chain of custody. This is Ian's video of the prelims, right? So we don't know if maybe she did bring it up.
It didn't seem like he edited that out of order or anything. It seemed like it was a flowing conversation with her and that officer.
No. Well, okay, maybe in that particular case, but these were definitely out of order. I think it was like picking and choosing things that he thought was interesting to put in his own video. Okay. Right? That's what I think he did. But that would be something that you would think that Ian would bring up, though. What you just said, right? Of the chain of custody of the fucking memory cards of the cameras, right?
Right.
You would think that'd be brought up, but maybe she did. Maybe she didn't.
He was ranting about it. He was ranting about it.
Okay, fair enough. Well, once again, to be fair, she might not have brought it up, or he has multiple defense lawyers, right? Maybe none of them brought it up, potentially, right? But also, I agree with the idea, like, they probably didn't because of maybe the reaction that we're getting from Ian and just the internet itself, right? And what people would definitely want to, like, screen capture or whatever the fuck for this trial. Be like, hey, see, look, they didn't even fucking call out Bob, who's grabbing these cameras out of minutes after Charlie's dead or got shot. I mean, he's grabbing shit already. So, but I don't know. Either way, worthy conversation, and I will leave it there. He kind of covered the things I was curious about, some things that we missed out on, but still interesting after missing like the first couple days of this thing, and he kind of went over some of the things I didn't even know about. So, kudos to Ian. Either way, there's your video. Please subscribe if you feel like. Comment, agree or disagree. What do you think in the comment section? Let it be known. Maybe you did hear about this. Maybe you did watch like all 5 days, all 4 or 5 days of this preliminary hearings. If you saw something that hey, this is interesting or curious, tell me about it. And if you can link it or in the timestamp of like where you saw this thing, I would definitely go over it. I'd be curious to see that, or just watch it on my own, honestly, or for anyone in here. So at least please let it be known in the comment section. Don't forget to share, support, hopefully donate to all the links in the description box. Also, please check out the Discord link if you want to join that. We are in that Discord right now. All opinions are welcome, and obviously everything I show you will be linked in that same description box for you to look at on your own and study and yada, 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 and Lindsey Graham and all that good stuff. Or bad stuff. Most importantly, with all that said, give this video a thumbs down. Whee!